Okay, we are live, you guys. Hello, hello, hello. We are live. I see a lot of people in the chat. Welcome, you guys, to Soap Corner Talk, where I got Bree, I have Jay, I have Keish, and it's T. And we are actually going to do the weekly recap for both Young and the Restless and Bold and the Beautiful for the week of December 9th through the 13th. And look like the notification just went out.
All right. 33 people. My goodness, you guys were just ready. I wonder why.
Yeah, tell me about it. All right, so Norm, if you are new here, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. We do this every week, and then of course there are daily recaps. Now I apologize to some of you guys for the Young and the Restless this week because I'm sorry, it was absolutely boring. In my opinion, I don't know about y'all, but wasn't a bunch of folks sending me messages asking me about where's Y&R. So that says a lot.
I'm trying to remember what happened.
Girl, that's what I'm saying. It's all, they look like they were strong in November and then they fell flat.
Yeah, what Abby came back, I'm looking at the pictures. I'm like, Abby came back and it's starting to kind of come to me, but yeah, it was kind of dull. They got all the excitement in November.
Exactly. But Bold did something else. You would think this is December sweeps.
They always do it the month after.
Yeah, that's interesting. Very, very interesting. Okay, so we normally do the Young and the Restless first and the Bold and the Beautiful second. We're going to do a little bit of something different today. Then we have our segments, our Flip the Script, who's taken several seats, the Star of the Week, Pickle of the Week, and who are the winners of the Simp Award. So, yeah, very, very interesting stuff. All right, so we're going to start this week because to me, Young and the Restless was pretty darn slow. We're going to start with the Bold and the Beautiful this week first because we got a lot to uncover. And before I get started, I know that this is a very, very polarizing storyline that's been going on for the past, well, it really hit a peak over the past couple weeks. I will say this. We're going to keep it soapy fun in here. I know everybody is taking sides, picking teams. That's fine. But please do not personally attack the other soapies, attack us on the panel, or attack the actors and actresses. Now, if you want to say something like, oh yeah, Hope and Carter, they don't know what they're doing. They're crazy. But to say to a person that's saying that, and I'm going to use you, Bree. Bree, you are just absolutely stupid for even thinking or agreeing with that. That's not what we're doing.
My feelings.
So that's the thing, So we're going to keep it soapy fun. If you want to say something about the fictional characters, open game, but please do not attack each other or us on the panel or trash or talk the actors and actresses. Got it? Good.
Got it.
I know y'all got it. All right, let's get Bold started. Okay, so let me do a summary and then we're gonna dive deep into this because it was an insane week. All right, so hold on. Okay, here we go. Is that the recaps? Yes. Okay, so for the Bold and the Beautiful for the week of the 9th through the 13th, Luna works on Bill, and Ridge offers Carter one final chance to make things right. Carter squares off with a raging Ridge after he called Hope a nasty bee. Steffy warns Hope she's become her worst nightmare, and Brooke informs Ridge that he cannot blame her daughter. Remy has a run-in with Will, and Ridge vows to do whatever it takes to stop Hope. And Ridge walks out on a sobbing Brooke after calling Hope a slut. And Remy Remy creates another deep fake of Electra's photos. Let's go ahead and get this whole Will and Remy thing out the way.
Okay.
Who want to go first?
I guess I'll go first. Or go ahead.
No. You go ahead.
This is a Lifetime movie right here. That's all I kept thinking. I'm like this storyline will literally take up like 2 hours, like it usually would, and then we get a whole other movie before that would start right at the top of the hour. This is very very creepy, very strange, and I'm like, so she put you in the friend zone, and it's turned you crazy, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And this is just not the way to go about this. And my only thing is, why hasn't this girl never filed a police report? There was no investigation done. Like, with all this technology stuff where you can pinpoint where somebody's computer is now, like, she didn't even bother to do it. She just left the city that she was at and went to LA.
Mm-hmm.
And she didn't think it was strange at all that this boy went and followed her.
Right. Yeah, I mean, obviously, she clearly don't know that it's him. Clearly, she don't. But I would think if it started now that she's back in LA and now that this guy is in town, I would hope she connect the dots.
Here.
I can't hear you. You muffled or something?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yeah. I forget who said it in the chat earlier, in our group chat. He said, like, I think it was you, J Money. He said, like, so Remy's going to do a deep fake just to try to keep her away from Will. And here's the thing. I think it's more of an image thing. If she gets closer to Will's a billionaire son. And if he's, like, dating a girl who has these salacious pictures, that affects Will and it also affects her. So then I guess that leaves a vacancy for Remy, but she still doesn't see him that way. So I'm like, what's the point of doing this?
But see, does that really work in today's society? Because you see these rich billionaire kids wilding out all the time, nude pictures getting leaked. It's almost just a part of that kind of society. Like when you think about the Paris Hiltons and, you know, already like those types, I wouldn't think Will having a girlfriend, you know, that gets exposed like that, would that really be that big of an issue? He's not like Will doesn't seem like some shy little guy that would be upset, especially if he knows she didn't leak them out herself. So will that really break them up or cause any harm between them? I would think Will would want to find out who the heck is doing this to his girlfriend.
Probably, but I mean, this would be his first scandal that he would ever have to deal with, and he's been kind of squeaky clean. This is just very, very nasty and distasteful to try to get the girl this way. So I'm kind of surprised they're going this direction. I think there should be awareness, but with all the stuff that's on the internet now, I'm gonna leave it like that. Like, you make the very valid point. Like, with all this stuff that happens in social media now, this would kind of just be very, I don't want to say tame, but there's worse stuff.
Right.
Yes, it's very light work when you look at it from those regards. And then also, even outside of that, what I was saying in the group chat too, like, explain to me how this helps him get her. Because, like, when he was doing it, he was like, you know, I can't let Will have you and all of that stuff. And I was trying to figure out how is you doing this to her photos helping you get any closer to her? That was the weird thing about it. So I'm trying to figure out where they're actually going with this. Like, I think basically he'll get exposed at some point, but I just didn't get his mindset of thinking him doing that to her pictures would somehow get her closer to him. The
What
I
you
last time he
think.
did it, she left out.
what you got,
I
Keish?
okay.
I think he's just making assumptions that if he does that, that Will turn his back on her, and then
Break up with her.
Remy's the only one in town that she really knows. I mean, of course, she's got her family there, but Remy's her only friend in town. So maybe he's assuming, like she did last time, that she's going to come to him and um, he's going to be able to comfort her, and will be out of her life. I mean, you have to remember we're dealing with somebody who clearly is
Unstable.
not thinking straight.
Mm-hmm.
So he's making these assumptions that somehow maybe she's going to change her mind about him, and as long as he's got Will out of the way, then he can try to do whatever he can to, I guess, get her to see him differently.
True.
So
True.
Yeah. I think this is going to be a PR nightmare. I think it's going to be twofold. It's
Yep.
going to be a situation, obviously, for the kids to deal with, but now that Carter and Hope is in charge, this is going to be a PR nightmare.
Oh, boo hoo.
What is
Well, I
the young
mean,
woman's name again? I forget.
who? Remy?
No, the girl in the
Ale-
situation. My girlfriend.
Electra?
Yeah. Um. Should it? Do y'all think it really should be that much of a PR nightmare though? Because really, what is she? She's the assistant to Ivy. I feel like she shouldn't even really be in a spotlight situation or spotlight position like that anyway. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
who
but
really
she's
is
the
checking
face of
for
the
the
jury
assistant?
line, though.
Oh, is she? Okay.
Yeah,
I didn't
remember
realize.
Yeah.
they put her in front of the camera, which is what she was trying to avoid, but they did it anyway. She's the face of the jury line. And I think from that promo when they said when she was like getting fired, I'm wondering if Katie and who was the other, was that Brooke standing next to Katie?
I think
Brooke
so.
was,
Yeah,
yeah, Brooke
it
was in there
was.
too.
I'm wondering if they're gonna try to fire her for this.
Mm. See, I didn't realize they made her the face of the line. I thought they only put her face out there for the initial press release where they had announced the team. I didn't realize they made her the face of the jury line as well.
Yeah, she didn't want to be. So yeah, this is gonna be their first. Well, here's the thing. So I guess since oh no, now I'm jumping ahead. I seen that promo. I can't unsee it with Brooke now coming up being CEO. But this is gonna be real interesting. Anyway, did y'all have any more on the Remy thing?
No.
Other than that, boy, it's just really crazy, and it's going to be interesting to see where they go with them.
I will say production made an error because remember before that boy came to town, he was in that same room, and
Yep.
then when he was at Il Giardino, the room was just like that.
Yes, I
Yeah,
was
I
thinking
noticed
that as
that
I
too.
was talking. And I was thinking that as I was talking. I'm like, why does it look exactly like the same room he was in when he was still out of town before he came over?
Right, and
Yeah.
I'm like, right as you thought you was gonna, I mean, production, y'all thought y'all were gonna slide that past us. We watching
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean,
anyway.
but
What'd you
this
say,
is
You
just
Bree?
know
a
what?
severe.
I do have one last
Oh,
thing before we move off Remy because it was, y'all remember, it was rumors of people thinking he might be Little D. And I'm wondering, do y'all think there could be any merit to that? Because I could see Deacon kind of being the hero for him, like as far as trying to help save him and redeem him if he finds out that it happens to be his son. But wouldn't Deacon recognize him, even if he hadn't seen him in so long? Wouldn't you still recognize your child?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think Deacon is
Mhm.
well, I don't know. I guess he could be estranged from him, but I didn't get the sense that he hadn't been in his son's life. I just figured they just didn't talk about him.
Mhm.
mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It should have just been him, though. That would have been interesting to, um, instead of this being some random guy from Electra's past,
Yeah,
to bring in his son.
because then that would have explained him just having the room and the job right off the bat. Like you didn't even have to go through the whole asking and hey, I can do this for you. Like he could have just had him handed it to him basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh, yeah, this is gonna be interesting. What is Ivy gonna do? Now, what I don't like, and I'm just gonna say this, is the way that these spoilers were all over the place this week. Because for the Monday ninth episode, it was an official spoiler saying that Zende was gonna quit, and of
Mm-hmm.
course we didn't see none of that until yesterday, and then they just left us hanging with Zende's response because he wasn't even back today.
Yeah,
Nope.
I have a feeling that he's going to end up staying there. Um, because how else are they going to move forward with hope for the future if they don't have him?
Mm-hmm.
Why did they even? I want. Well, I mean, Bowl is notorious for crazy spoiler stuff that don't happen, stuff that do happen that or on the wrong day or whatever. But why would you put that out there so blatantly, knowing that it was nothing? It was totally off.
I'm gonna start calling them spoil lies because that's what they is. They lie.
I wonder. Oh, sorry.
No, you good.
I was just going to say, I wonder if maybe they shot it to where he did walk out,
Mm-hmm.
and then they cut it. They cut it out
You so.
because
Mm-hmm.
because that scene yesterday, it ended while he was still in there, and them asking him to stay on, and it just went off. So I don't. Maybe they did shoot a scene where he tells them that he's quitting or that he's not going to stay there and work for them because of what they did, and they just decided to cut it.
So should Zende stay? What would you recommend? Would you think he should? What would y'all recommend? I should say, y'all think he should stay or should he go and support his family?
See, for me, him quitting, that spoiler never really made sense to me because what loyalty have they really shown to him? Like, he's on good terms with RJ now, but we know the gripes he had when he saw that RJ was being handed stuff when he first got there with no experience. All his gripes were legitimate. You know, the fact that he went to international and worked his way up and he was getting passed over. So the way I look at it is he should look at this as an opportunity. Like, okay, you're going to make me head designer. If I was him and looking at it from his perspective, he should stay because it's not like they were showing him any true loyalty anyway in the first place. It
Well,
would be different if they were.
the chat is saying that he should leave.
He was already head designer of Hope's line after Thomas left anyway.
He was. He was.
So they're giving him that he just be doing his job again. I don't know. What you're saying makes sense, Jay. Like he feels like that he hadn't been appreciated basically back when all the RJ stuff was going on.
Yeah. Like
Yeah,
his
but that
loyalty
was
shouldn't be the same. His loyalty shouldn't be on the same level as Steffi's. You know what I mean? Steffi's been CEO. She's been there, like him, he's had some legitimate concerns and gripes. So, I don't feel like he needs to leave out of some loyalty to them because it really hasn't been shown to him to any great extent.
okay. Well, Angela, Joyce, Vicky, Sandra, Mari, Jasmine. What's she say? Wait a minute. There's quite a few people in the chat is saying that he should leave and support his family.
I agree with that.
I do too. I think what Jay says makes sense, but personally, I would look at it in the long run. Like 6 months from now, a year from now, however long it might take for them to get their company back, because we know if they're going to get their company back, do you want to be on the side of the fence without your family because you still wanted to work at Forrester, even though Carter and Hope, or really Carter, took it from your family, and you wanted to, I guess, take advantage of that, which really he wasn't given a higher position. He was just put back on the line because they brought Hope for the Future back. Like, I don't think that I would risk being on bad terms with my family in the long run just to work on Hope for the Future for another few months.
That's a good
I think
point.
it's more than that.
We got a couple of people saying he should stay. Belinda says he should stay. Joyce Boone says he should stay.
Yeah.
Somebody brought up the fact that he should stay loyal. He wants to stay loyal after Eric's health scare. Remember, they didn't even tell Zende about the health scare at first.
Right.
So, You
Right,
know,
Bree was about to say something.
oh, go ahead, Bree.
Yeah, I was going to say it's more than that because you guys got to keep in mind this boy was adopted into this family. His loyalty should be with the Forresters, and plus it'll be also a disrespect to his mother, who is legitimately a Forrester. And granted, he feels like he was put on the back burner because of RJ. Zende has had numerous different opportunities since he's been working at that company, including working over at International. He's been able to create and design. He's had a lavish lifestyle, all courtesy of the Forresters. So how could he turn his back against like his family like that after everything that they have brought to this boy, brought to this man? Let me be respectful.
Yeah, wasn't the
And
main one giving him grief was Brooke trying to send him to Forest to Antarctica and all that stuff during the RJ situation?
yes,
That was Brooke.
yes, that was Brooke, and it was disrespectful because he's a whole Forester. He's been loved, accepted. He should be loyal to the people who's been loyal to him. And on top of that, me personally, I couldn't trust Hope as a leader. She can't even paint this boy a clear vision so he can create some good designs because he's been the designer for the most part for her line. So a lot of the failures fall on his head when it comes to her line.
Yeah, and I feel like nobody is saying that. Everybody is zeroing in on the fact that Hope and Steffi always have beef with each other. That's all they've been focused on. Nobody is addressing the fact that the buyers did not want the designs. For 3/4, the buyers did not want their designs. So, like, what are you going to do to turn that around?
Right. I mean, remember. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. I'm done. You can go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say the other thing is not only that, which is huge. They were rejecting orders. They said that on the internet, the search volume for the line had went down. So I mean, ain't nobody looking for it. Ain't nobody buying it. They're not reordering it. Nobody wants it. And for Carter just to think with the wrong head, which we'll get into that later or in a little bit, it just doesn't make any sense. It's just not business smart.
Yeah.
No.
Well, the last thing I would say from the Zende perspective is he can go ahead and leave like in some kind of unity with the family, like most of y'all are saying. But when Reg and them do get the company back, which we all know they will at some point, it's only going to be a matter of time before RJ gets all the praise and he gets supplanted by RJ. So really, it's kind of a lose-lose for him. So if he stays loyal and leaves, he's not going to really have I'm not going to say any opportunities, but we all know how Rich feels about RJ. He thinks RJ is the chosen one. So at some point, RJ is going to get all of the opportunities that Zende should be getting. So, and somebody in the chat just said that they think Zende's going to leave because the actor is leaving the show. Have y'all heard anything about that?
I mean, I heard rumors, but nothing official.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah. What did y'all think about Will's reaction to the whole thing? Because, I mean, he was like, that's great. I'm like, you sound just like your daddy.
He's a Logan.
I was about to say he's a Simpson, and you're right, he's a Logan as well. So that's why I was looking at it from it doesn't affect him like that anyway because he's not a Forrester.
Right, and if the company does fail, he can just go right over to his daddy's job, whatever.
Yeah,
at this point, he's just there for Electra. So,
and speaking of which, I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Bree.
I was going to say.
No,
go ahead, Bree. I was going to say that was the reaction I was really looking for was Electra because she is a Forrester.
Right. But you see how quick Carter threw that in there. I brought the jury line in, and I'm like, yeah. So, yeah, but she wasn't looking too sure about this, So, and I know there's some hesitation with Electra, but Will is like, yeah,
I
okay,
didn't feel like
whatever.
she hesitated enough.
She looked
I agree.
confused.
I mean, Steffi didn't want
Yeah,
to bring them on anyway, though. So
But then
you know
she
what I mean?
did
but then
say
she
that,
Also was nice to her.
right.
She said Steffi
yeah.
treated her well. She treated her nice. And then you seen Hope's reaction like, that doesn't go along with our narrative.
Yeah, it's not
True.
like Steffi. It's not like Steffi was, nasty to them. It was like, ew, I don't want you guys here. Like, get away. And then
She,
when Eric reversed it, she was like, you know
mhm.
what? It's good that they're here. They're foresters. They should be here. So it's not like there was some, you know, she was just downright nasty to them about the whole situation.
Right.
She
it,
wasn't, but
it
in
doesn't
that,
mean, to me, it doesn't mean that Electra should have the opinion that, well, it's good that she's gone just because she didn't initially like the idea of the jewelry line coming back, because that had nothing to do with Electra. And I mean, honestly, it didn't really have that much to do with Ivy. It was the way that Carter brought them all in without even talking to her.
Right.
So it's just, to me, I feel like Electra, yes, she came off confused,
mhm.
but it felt like she was just more concerned about whether or not the jewelry line was still going to be there, and not about the fact that this man has stolen control of your family's company.
Yeah, and I don't think she should have had like a whole response like she was nasty to us or anything like that, because she wasn't. But Carter is the one that wanted to bring her and Ivy on too. So he was right in bringing that up. It may have looked like maybe a bit shady on his part, but I mean he was speaking the truth. Like, hey, I'm the one that really wanted to bring y'all back over here. So it's kind of a tough choice, but it not tough, but kind of not tough at the same time.
No.
Yep. All right. Well, we got those reactions, but we got to go all the way back to the beginning of the week because it. I couldn't believe that Ridge actually gave Carter was it opportunity number 3?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a
With
third option.
yes.
Yes, opportunity number 3 to say, okay, let's just put this behind us and move on. I'm like, are you really?
Now
And
we see what
Eric
Thomas
backed him
did
up.
this time.
Wait a minute. Okay, so yeah, I know everybody got a lot to say at the same time. Who want to go first?
I was just going to line out that now we know where Thomas gets it from. Giving Hope as many chances as he did, proposing to her 3 or 4 times. It looks like Ridge has that same kind of mindset because he gave Carter like 3 or 4 times to take back what he did.
Okay, who's next? Bree,
The
Keish.
fact that Eric was like, yeah, we can forget all about this. Like, no, absolutely not. I'm not giving this man any chance whatsoever. He's sitting right behind my chair, telling me that he's running things, and I want to give him an opportunity, thinking he's going to change course. He went ahead and filed the papers. He means business, so therefore we need to mean business when we say, look, we do not support you. We can't stand you. With all the stuff that Reg was saying, everything, but the fact that Reg and Eric and even Steffi were like, yeah, we can forget all about this. No, absolutely not. The disrespect to themselves.
What you got, Keish?
What were we talking about? I'm sorry.
We're talking about the chances that Ridge gave him early in the week.
Oh yeah. Sorry. So I'm a squirrel. It's like somebody said squirrel, and my attention shifts. My bad.
Oh, dang.
Um,
Okay.
yeah. It didn't make. I couldn't believe that he kept trying to give him chances too. Because that also shows like how heavily he is blaming a lot of this on Hope, because he's willing to look past what Carter did, which I don't agree with that part. And I think it made him look a little. It was a little too much for me for you to try to give him multiple chances to take this back. But it makes me wonder, was he just doing this because he was going to soften him up, get him to reverse the contract, and then after that he was going to like basically tell him to hit the road, or did he genuinely want to give him another chance?
Yeah, that's interesting because I thought it could go either way too. I mean, are y'all talking about, okay, let's just go back to normal and the guy is still on the clock? Or are you just setting him up to say, okay, we're going to go back to normal and kick him to the curb?
Yeah,
I agree
because
with
that
you.
is like I don't care how much they think Hope got in that man's ear. He is still a grown man, and he still chose to. He was the one that brought the idea up. He still chose to do all of it. So regardless of if they think that Hope manipulated him or not, he still went through with it. So there's no, in my opinion, there would be no. You just reverse this contract and we can forget all this happened. No, that's not happening.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way.
What you got, Jay?
Yeah, I was kind of surprised that he kept going back to that. Like maybe after the first or second time,
Mm-hmm.
I felt like that was enough. But I do kind of wonder if that's the what Keith said. If he was basically doing that to soften him up, because I know there's certain things. Whenever Eric, Steffi, and Rich spoke about how much they cared for Carter, he would stand there and like close his eyes and look all like sad, like it hurt him to hear
Mm-hmm.
them say those things.
Mm-hmm.
So I wonder if Ridge was saying that just to like soften him up, get him to like reverse his decision and then make him kick rocks once they took control over the company again. I wonder if part of that was Ridge's plan.
There's got to be a part of this man, his logical side, that says, this is not it. I shouldn't be doing this. But
Mm-hmm.
is the pull to Hope that strong that he's continued to pray? Because he can't clearly believe that the doors are about to shut down any minute because the business is failing across here and international, and that he has to save the day. That part, that they keep trying to gaslight themselves. You know how you
Mm-hmm.
keep telling yourself something over and over again, you begin to believe it. There's nothing to even indicate that this business is about to crash and burn.
And
Right.
he said that last week that
Mm-hmm.
the line was going to be perfectly fine. And keep in mind, this was the same man who was okay with letting Hope for the Future go. He was on board with if Steffi decided to cut the line because he was a numbers guy. He said he saw the numbers; it's not going to pan out well.
It was
Okay, but
underachieving.
underachieving. So if they get rid of the line, that puts money back into the company, so they're not dishing out more than was necessary, so they can repurpose it for other projects. He knows that. He
Right.
knows that. He was on board with that. So he's contradicting his statement saying like, oh, this was like your leadership is going to tank us, is going to do this and that. You were just on board with that same leadership.
Exactly.
He's literally Carter is gaining nothing from this. I mean, other than I guess the experience of being in charge of the company, which it looks like he's not even really going to be doing that because of what the spoilers say next week. But it's like he has gained nothing from this whole thing other than being Hope's boyfriend
Yeah.
because he's not an owner of the company. He doesn't have any shares. He didn't promote himself. He put somebody else in charge. I guess technically, being the manager, he's still over everything. But he made Brooke the CEO, or he's going to next week, according to those spoilers at the end of the show. So it's like you're doing all of this. You committed fraud for other people, basically.
Yeah. You know what? I didn't even look at it like that, because it'd be one thing if he is sitting behind that desk every day, but like you just said, she's going to be the CEO. Whether now there's rumors that she's doing this to get the company out of their hands and trying to get Ridge back. But who's to say she's doing it because she pissed too, because of what happened this week, which we also got to talk about. But Justin, I honestly believe Justin is, if he's not working with Carter, he's purposely doing his part to sabotage this too.
Mm.
It really depends on how long they're going to actually keep Justin on the show. I personally don't see Justin being a part of this because Carter had those LLC papers for the longest because Rich was like hounding him about trying to file them. So Carter knew the ins and outs and what, the power would hold and everything. He knew all of this. And he had enough time to make sure the deal was sealed to try to cut and cover his tracks, to make sure that there was no other loopholes or no other way that the Forester can go after him, because he knew they were going to try to go after him. So I think he just covered his bases well, and they just have to really dig deeper to try to get themselves out of it now.
They should have just called Michael Baldwin. If he can go to Peru, he can go to L.A.
My biggest question is, though, since Hope and Carter are claiming that Steffy, was just so horrible to everybody, and that people weren't being treated fairly, like what exactly are they going to do to, I guess, change that? Because we haven't seen anything about the employees complaining about Steffy. This is all coming from Hope and Carter.
Yeah, they're gaslighting themselves.
Yeah, so it's like, well, people deserve to be heard. They deserve for fair treatment. There shouldn't be any favoritism. So the next person that comes to Carter with an idea, is he just going to okay it? Because according to him, it seems as if everybody's idea should be accepted. Because that's some of the basis of his anger, is that they didn't accept his idea. So is he just going to start checking, signing off on everybody's ideas and funding all these different concepts and stuff for Forster Creations? Like, I don't understand. They're going to keep funding lines that aren't making any money? Like, where's the limit? Where do they draw the line at?
Right.
Because it seems like they expect Steffy and Rich to just okay everything that people bring to them.
Right. What you got, Jay?
Yeah, like, I don't know. I mean, who at the company left would even be there to approach him, if anything, right? It just seems like at this point, we're still waiting on Zende's decision, but at this point, it's pretty much just interns, Brooke coming in as CEO, and then Hope bringing back her line. I don't even know who would even be approaching him with an idea, to be honest with you. So maybe that won't even necessarily be a concern for him. But I'm just interested to know, like, how far they're going to take this. How long will Carter actually have this power? Keisha, kind of seemed like you hinted at it won't be for long, according to spoilers, the way you kind of worded that. So I just wonder, are we going to actually get a good couple of months of him running the company? Like, will we actually see him make differences in the company, or is he going to lose the power before he even gets a chance to make a dent?
I mean, I honestly think that Justin didn't do, either he knows something or he's just purposely not putting the time and energy, because he got so many issues with the Foresters. The whole thing with Emma, I mean, the whole
Thomas locking him up in that cage.
Exactly. I mean, he already threw Ridge out of a helicopter a while back. I mean, he's really not a big fan of theirs anyway. So even if he knew something, who's to say that he would be like, dang, this is an opportunity to get back on the Forrester family for all of the grievances that I've had with them. So yeah, I might know something, but I ain't gonna tell you.
Yes, because and y'all tell me if y'all feel the same way. Every time Justin was explaining to them, like when Ridge and Eric would say, "Come on, Justin, there's got to be a way, right?" Did y'all notice, like, he just seemed really quick and flip it with the answer, like, "No, it's legit. Like, there's nothing we can do. Like, I checked everything." It just seemed like it really wasn't a lot of effort in him trying to fight it. Like, he just kind of threw his hands up in the air and said, "Nope, there's nothing I can do. Everything is perfectly legit on his part." It almost seemed like he was working in cahoots with Carter. And somebody said last week, I think on your chat, in the chat, that there was a wink between Justin and Carter last week. I did not see a wink. Yeah, I went back and watched. I did not see a wink, but there were looks between them. there wasn't no wink, but Carter did kind of look like he had like a certain look to him whenever Justin was explaining things. So I was wondering if Justin is, working with him on the side.
My question is, when Carter said to Justin, and so is everything in order? He's working for the Foresters. Why would you ask him, is everything in order? I don't know. It's just something weird about that whole communication between. There's something there.
There's a vibe there for sure.
Right. Then there's the other issue, and I know we kind of discussed this in the chat last week about when Carter filed those papers and whether he was fired. Now that conversation is happening all over social media. So, my thing is, I'm wondering if this is what's going to blow Carter out the water, because obviously the Foresters are going to get their business back. I mean, Forester Creations and Eric is a staple for the last 38 years. So what is going to be the loophole to get Carter and Hope at that office? And speaking of them being in that office, they decided to christen that office too, with all them Forester photos everywhere. I'm like, oh my God.
Well, it depends on. I don't know how they're going to go about it, because even like with the spoilers, I kept saying like they were like they probably did some rewrites in between the storyline. Me personally, I don't see Justin being a part of any of this. But if he is, it depends on how long he's going to stay. Because even the actor was like, "Look, I'm only here just for this little appetizer, so I don't expect for him to be on too long." And on top of that, they hired Carter to be COO because he is good at what he does as a lawyer. So I would not put it past this man to cover his bases.
But remember, he ain't thinking straight, Bree.
But if his motivation is to protect that girl for whatever reason, my lord, he gonna check every base, everything, to make sure he solidifies himself. So there's no question for when he brings her back on. He gonna go to the ends of the earth for her. So he gonna cover his bases.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right, we gotta talk
about. He's going hard in the paint for this girl, so he's gonna make sure every, I and T is crossed and dotted. So he's definitely making sure that stuff is on point.
Now we gotta talk about what happened in that hallway, because Ridge has been. Oh my God. He looked like he's been holding in and repressing his feelings for Hope for the last 20 years. And he finally let it out over the last 2-3 days. And one of the biggest things is when he called her a nasty bee. And
nasty little bee.
Right.
There's some growl to it and everything.
I mean, he put the bass in his voice when he said that. Now, here's the thing. And I'm going to say this because I know a lot of people took this off TV and made it personal and want to get in their feelings about it. This is a soap. Now, Bree and we watch other prime time type soaps. And what happened with this week with Ridge is child's play compared to some of the other things that happens in the prime time. So, I mean, I understand that it might make some people uncomfortable, and how dare you do it? If you do that to my daughter, okay, let's leave it in TV land.
Right. I hope people are not attacking the actors for reading a script.
Yeah, I'm wondering about Thorsten and whether or not he's getting nasty emails or something.
He probably
nasty little emails.
He's used to it. That wouldn't surprise me. But my thing is, this is the one time he's ever said anything about Hope. There are numerous of occasions where Brooke has verbally attacked,
and physically
his children.
Shoot, yeah, that means you push somebody off of a cliff.
Yes. And the amount of things that she has no problem being combative and saying how she feels and getting stuff off of her chest when it comes to his kids. Now she just sitting there just stuck. How could you say that about my daughter? Well, she didn't even defend her daughter when he said that in the hallway. She was just in shock.
Yeah, everybody was in shock when she followed Ridge home because people were talking about that too.
Look, I said in the group chat, I don't know what he working with or how he's putting it down for her. But she followed suit and she followed her man. She gave her daughter a pat on the shoulders, like, oh, it's okay. And left.
I mean, it's just so crazy because, I mean, there were folks, because we also had that scene with Steffy in the office. And when she walked out, you know, Steffy bumped her shoulder on the way out. And
That'd be ready for playoffs.
yeah, well, a lot of people were saying, you know, there's this whole thing that, you know, oh, Hope should sue and all this type of thing. So should Steffi had sued her when she pushed her into a desk when she was pregnant?
Yes. Yeah.
And she slapped her.
Oh, yeah.
Or should Thomas had sued her when she pushed him into a vat of acid?
Which she thought was a vat of acid, yep.
Or when Brooke pushed him off of the cliff.
Right.
So are we talking lawsuits? They could have easily have filed and they didn't. Plus, with all the things that have just gone on in that office, in and out of that office, they can cry, and the amount of slaps that Brooke has given and received, she's not throwing out lawsuits.
Right.
All Steffi did was just like, look, she could have slapped her. I would have preferred it, me personally.
Are you talking about like a Sheila Carter slap?
Exactly. That's the thing that gets me about Steffi. She ready to karate chop, fight, bust in people's houses unannounced, and ready to fight Sheila. Here is Hope, and you just give her a defensive tackle push. Like,
hey, like
where is the karate chop? Where is the karate chop fighting action? Sonya Blade, Steffi that I was looking for with all this stuff going on.
Did you say Sonya Blade?
Sonya Blade. Anybody who's heard of Mortal Kombat, but just she's like be in fight mode. I mean, I appreciate the shoulder push because that almost knocked that girl to the floor. I appreciate it. She got some strong shoulders, but still.
I'm curious, after that scene ended, you know, when Annika and Jacqueline was done, Jacqueline probably came over and said, "You all right, girl?"
I know Annika had to say, "Goodness, you did that a little hard." Because I heard the thump. When she hit that.
I mean, she hit her. That shoulder bump was fierce.
Girl can play for the Rams out there in LA.
She ready for the playoffs. This is some strong shoulders. I'm like, girl.
Shoot, that was a flagrant foul.
But you know what? Now is the time I want to see the Steffi and Hope fight, because let's not forget, Hope was taking karate lessons from Deacon last year. So she would actually be the Sonya Blade breed because she's the blonde in the situation. I want to see them really go at it.
She would run her mouth versus them hands. I would not be the least bit concerned. We seen how Steffi has no problem slapping up Sheila. She could have took Hope without question. Probably Deacon too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Steffi is overdue for being able to slap Hope. She is overdue. Yes. It has been past time.
We need Quinn level slap. Quinn is the standard.
Oh my God, that scene.
Quinn gave to Hope. That slap that Quinn gave to Brooke. That is the standard of slaps in soap operas right now.
Oh, that played up in my head right quick, Jay. Like the way she slapped her and she went all the way down and she was like,
yeah, she was like, what she said afterwards. She said, Stephanie taught you how to slap? Bitch, you should have. Oh, I'm sorry. I should have said that word. You should have learned from me. That is classic.
Angela said, "Did you all see when Hope got the bump? She spun all the way around."
Yeah. She had a little extra stumble in there.
Mm-hmm. It was like a real NFL play. Like when you see a kickoff and they hit them and they spin like that. And it looked like a kickoff return. That's what that whole scene looked like.
Oh yeah, that was crazy. I mean, I gotta say, between what Ridge said in that hallway, that shoulder bump by Steffi, and then today we got the whole worthless slut term. I was like, who writing? Is this Heather Tom?
I felt that too when he said that. Rich said some words this week that you felt.
But did y'all see the darkness in Torsten's eyes?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, where's this guy been?
Right, because
Rich has been holding on to whatever animosity he's had against Hope for years, only because he loved Brooke. And this was the straw that broke the camel's back, and he is just letting it all out.
I agree. I highly agree. And she said, please be reasonable. This man has always taken your side.
Mm-hmm.
He's always took your side because he doesn't want to mess up his precious destiny. That's why he was going around to Steffi's house or whoever's house to try to check with Finn to see what really happened in the office with Hope. Exactly. He was going all around because he didn't want to hurt Brooke's feelings. Now his company is in a whole other person's hands because that person is trying to call himself defending the Logans.
Here's my problem. Hope. Here's my problem with Brooke. Brooke likes to gaslight. She gaslit him on the whole situation with Finn, talking about it was a mistake when she knew for months that girl was fantasizing, calling him kindred spirits, and I'm a better mate for him than his own wife is. And then you get in front of everybody else talking about she made a mistake. Then you get in this whole situation where Hope at the cabin clearly told her, I'm standing 10 toes down in this whole plan. I'm not doing anything different. And she's begging and pleading, you don't have to go this route. You didn't have to do this. You should have just told him from the start. And then you get over here in front of Ridge and say, this is not my daughter's fault. Right. She has a part in this. Even though, yes, I agree with Keish that Carter is a grown man. He made the decision. But as for Hope, she's equally culpable in this whole thing.
His name is on the paperwork, but she was a part of that plan from start to finish. She is reaping the benefits. She's also encouraging that man to do it. And she's also saying that we wrestle with this. We want to do what's best for the company. She's putting herself in it. So I'm putting her the equal to blame for all of this. It shouldn't solely be on her. I feel that the fact that Hope has been a part of that family, I think it stings a little differently. And I think the fact that Brooke still trying to defend that girl's actions, I think that's what's getting to him. Because had it been his kids, she would have called them any name in the book and had no apologies for it.
Bree, the girl was threatening to call CPS over watching Thomas cut an apple.
Yep, exactly. So she getting a taste of her own medicine and she don't like it. She don't like the fact that he's looking at her daughter differently versus this angel. That was the part that got me. Not my angel, not my precious girl. Like she said, she's everything, Rich. How can you say that about my baby? Girl.
Yeah, like Jenna said, Hope is in this up to her eyeballs.
Yep. And reaping all the benefits, walking behind a desk, just smiling, smirking, everything.
And it was
lap in the chair.
Yeah, it was interesting that when they switched from the scene where Ridge and Brooke was talking, and how she was like, "This is not my daughter's fault," and then they switched over to the CEO office, where Carter was like, "I couldn't do this without you." And then she grabbed his hand and then he kissed it and she's standing behind the throne. I'm like, I wish that they could see all of that. And Ridge called Brooke out and said, well, what do you call this?
Right. I'm like, what is Brooke crying for with these fake tears? Like, how dare you say this about my daughter? My angel. She's awoken. She's perfect. How dare you, Ridge? How dare you do this to us, Ridge? Like, girl, stop what you doing.
Now, y'all, did y'all also see it look like she flipped the script talking about they had no choice? We always are undervalued. And Ridge was like, how? Donna is married to the founder. You're currently on the executive team. The only person that having issues right now is Hope.
The one with the failing line.
And Katie runs the PR division.
I loved that Ridge brought up the fact that they just did all that campaigning.
Yep.
For the bedroom line.
Yep.
And then was like, that doesn't mean I'm not ungrateful for that. Then why'd you bring it up?
Right.
Like, you reap the benefits of that. And she didn't even want the line to come back.
Yeah,
I wanted the line to come back.
Didn't Hope also kind of wanted her to go ahead and dive back into that bedroom line too?
Mm-hmm. She said she should take more of a prominent role to given her experience and kind of boost that woman's head up and everything. And only to her benefit, because she knew her line was failing. And she knew that if her family had more of a executive role or more prominent, say so, then she's good. She's covered.
Like Sandra said, can you believe that Brooke tried with the "we are always undervalued"? Y'all in
and she said they were peasants,
right? That they were peasants. Y'all act like y'all working in the mailroom like Thorne was,
or like a sweatshop.
If anybody had a legitimate complaint back in the day, it was Thorne.
Right. I highly agree with that. That was the most undervalued character on the show.
And he was a Forrester through Stephanie and Eric. And I don't like this whole Maroney thing that people keep throwing around. But, I mean, that's Thorne. He was always at the bottom. He would always complain about that, but then Brooke talking about that the Logan's always been undervalued. Where?
And she said that in her multi-million-dollar mansion. And saying that her daughter was undervalued and she living on that same property. I don't understand the whole peasant argument and saying that they had no say-so, but they have no problem knowing that they can go to Eric whenever they need something, or Ridge. They know how to bend those ears whenever they need anything. Mm-hmm. And that's why it was comical, the fact that she said that. And I'm like, Steffi's a whole Forrester, and she had to even struggle to get her dad on her side, her granddad on her side, right, when it came to certain things.
Now, her granddad was never on her side.
Yeah,
Eric was against Hope's line being cut and her being fired from the very beginning.
Yeah.
Because I think he was the first one that they ran to the first time Steffi wanted to cut the line. They all went to Eric's house complaining it was all the sisters, and then they complained to Eric about it, and then Ridge about it, and like they always do, they overrode Steffi's decision. So it's so funny when people say, well, Steffi should have cut the line when she had a chance to. Steffi was the first one that said we need to let this line go, and everybody was against it. And basically forced her to give Hope another chance.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yep. Jenna, you are right. Eric and Ridge gave Brooke way too much. That's the part with Hope that I'm not understanding. She said, like, only Ridge's kids benefit. I'm like, Brooke had 2 kids with Eric, and she had 1 kid with Ridge. Yeah, RJ, Bridget, and you got Rick, who's Eric Jr. They are going to benefit as Forresters. It's just not you. Right. You're mad that your mommy laid down with a criminal who was married to your sister.
Yeah, and by the way, Hope, your legacy is at Il Giardino.
It is pizza and panties.
Hey, let's not sleep on El Giardino now, though. That's a
But that's
solid
still her
restaurant there.
legacy. If she wants legacy and I deserve something in this life, her dad has a whole restaurant over there in Beverly Hills.
Exactly. She forgets how she was brought up into this world. If anybody she's mad at, it should be her mother, because all her siblings managed to be foresters.
I mean,
Oh,
you
when
know.
she
Go
when she
ahead.
said, I think it was the scene earlier in the week, maybe Monday or Tuesday,
Mm-hmm.
when she was whining to Brooke again about um, how they're all treated, and when she had the nerve to say that Brooke or Steffi only in the position that she's in because of her name, as if she didn't earn it, and then had the nerve to say nothing has ever been handed to them. Hope Logan, of all people, had the nerve to say nothing has ever been handed to them.
And she was handed a fashion line right out of high school.
Right. I'm like, who is behind the scenes writing this dialogue? Like, because that is a bold-faced lie. We all know that's a lie.
Yeah.
I think
I
it
could
was a
imagine
whole
you
bunch
just
of.
walk in the scene and interject and be like, "Excuse me, what?" Whenever Hope says something like that.
Well, did y'all remember early? I think that was earlier this week. It was either Monday or Tuesday when Hope was having a conversation with her mom, and she was talking about, and I know we talked about it in the group chat when she said something about and I wanted a clip of that. I think I did. Oh God. Oh, that Ridge would never stand by and let his kids get fired or something.
Yes. This week has been full of delusion. Full of delusion.
When they just fired Thomas back at the end, what was that, the December 26, 2022 episode? You know I'd be doing my research.
Yeah.
I was trying to, Bree was trying to help me find that clip and I couldn't.
Yeah, they do. The producers, CBS, they're smart. They're very smart on what they want to release, because it would have made perfect sense for fans to go back to that moment and point that out, but no, it wasn't available. But they did a whole roundtable to fire Thomas.
Mm-hmm. Yep, because I sure wanted to attach those two clips together. Be like, excuse me?
Yeah. Just the nerve of this girl. And she just can't handle the fact that that line was her whole identity. And without it, she really is not much of anything. That's why she feels like this is a huge personal attack. And the thing is, and Brooke keeps saying it, and that annoys me. All of this could have been prevented had you just been honest.
Even Zende said that. Why didn't you say something?
Yeah.
I couldn't say anything because I didn't want.
I was trying to protect Carter.
Exactly.
Protect Carter's integrity.
Yeah, but
and he didn't care. He did not care. Even prior to him getting fired, he didn't care. He's like, well, let's go ahead and let it out. Right. Let's say something.
He wanted to say something the day that right after that thing happened with Finn back at the end of October. He was like, why don't we just go ahead and just let everybody, no. And Mom, I don't want you to say anything either. Listening to her.
Right. And the mama going all the way around saying, you should have listened to me. Like, this isn't what's going on. Everyone asking her, so then what is it? And she just quiet. Same way she was in this hallway this week, just quiet. Like, what you crying for? Why are you trying to defend this girl for? Hope does not care. She knows very well what she is doing and how it's affecting people, but she's worried about her bottom line. doesn't really even care about how this affects Carter. She knows this man is struggling with his decision to do this. And she's like, well, it was the right thing to do. Everything's going to be okay. Look at your chair. Look at your name on the LLC papers, Carter. This is you, Carter. Like, you should be proud of yourself, Carter. She know good and well what she's doing.
She putting a battery in his back.
Yes. And she's got to consistently do that. Because even Rich was like, look, I gave him another out. And he didn't want to take it because of you. And she just looked in the back like, like, well.
Girl, that girl is so turned on by this so-called power she think this man has. He did all this for me. He did this for me. And I love that about, what did she say when she was talking to her mom? Not I love him.
I love him for that.
I love him for that.
She loves saying that, don't she?
She said that to Thomas too.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's all about
what she told Carter that she loves him.
She told Carter, I love you quicker than she ever told Thomas.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Now I gotta disagree with something that Ridge said when he was saying how Hope used Liam.
Mm-hmm.
That part there, I'm like, I can't ride with you on that one because Liam was going back and forth.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't agree with that one either.
No.
Liam was the main manipulator in that triangle.
I mean, yeah.
Now, unless he's referring to the fact that she cheated on him with his son.
So you thinking that he's referring to 2023?
Yeah, I think that's what he's referring to because their marriage was technically stable and they were just raising their kids and everything. He didn't even think about Steffy. And she chose to break up her relationship to cheat with Thomas. And now I get the whole thing with Thomas, too, because he was minding his own business, going about his life. And she decided to
light the match.
Exactly.
And then go tell that boy what happened in Rome, stay in Rome.
Mm-hmm.
When she said that.
I know. She was like, you better not go back to LA and tell somebody what happened. But
I was so mad. I just remember being on like such a high after she kissed him. Like, oh my God, it's happening. And then the next day they get on the plane and she says that to him. And I'm like, this girl did not just fill this man's heart with hope, walking around Rome, holding hands like they've been dating for years or married. And then gets on that plane, this man who she knows is in love with her, and then they get on that plane and she tells him that. Like, Thomas was minding his business and she tells him that. I was so mad at her when she did that.
Yeah. Because he was literally shocked when that girl kissed him. Now, of course, he decided to lean into the whole thing. But wait a minute, because there were several times where he said, are you sure about this?
Mm-hmm. And she went right on in. This same girl who was fantasizing. This girl always fantasizing about these men. I get Ridge's point because she didn't have to break up her family. She chose to do that. And Liam didn't do anything at that point in juncture.
Mm-hmm.
And then his son Thomas, after everything that he kind of went through and going through therapy and getting his life back together, she wants to go ahead and funk it up and sleep with him. And now that man ran all the way to Paris because she didn't want to be with him entirely. And then you got Finn, and all she cared about was getting even with Steffy when it came to that situation. That was it. Trying to mess with his daughter. I get where he's coming from with that. All these series of unfortunate events caused by Hope.
Okay, so I can see where you're coming from, Bree. If he's only talking about 2023, then yeah, I agree with that. But the last decade, that was him.
Oh no. Oh yeah. I don't think he forgot about that at all. I just think that while things were peaceful, his daughter was married, his son was on the right track, because and then you got Hope, for whatever reason, didn't like what was going on in her marriage. She screwed up her marriage with his son. It was a whole domino effect. Ooh. I get what he's talking about.
I gotta post this one. I'm gonna pin this comment in the chat. Medora Bohannon. She said, hold up, T. Hope never dreamed or fantasized about Carter.
Girl. Nope. Actually, as a matter of fact, she daydreamed and fantasized or had a flashback about the stuff that he said to Steffy or whenever he was standing up for her.
Mm-hmm.
That was it. As delicious and fine as that man is, she didn't fantasize about them getting it on, them kissing him. She wasn't thinking about him as a person. Nothing. Mm-mm. Just what he said to defend her or to boost her ego or boost her line.
And I keep going back to that whole episode when he walked in that room making his intention known. She was staring off into space thinking about Finn.
Yep. But she loves him. She loves him. I love Carter Ridge. And he's like, yeah, okay.
Mm-hmm.
For 10 seconds.
Oh, that is true, Jenna. Jenna said Ridge was even going to welcome Hope to marry his son. And as much as he didn't like her, he was willing to accept her to marry Thomas.
Yeah, because he knew how important that was for his son. He's going to support his kids to the best of his ability.
Sometimes.
As long as Brooke isn't in his ear.
What you guys say, Jay?
Sometimes.
I mean, because sometimes we be sitting around. I know me and Keish had these conversations, and Keish be getting mad that Riz don't be standing up for his kids sometimes.
Mm-hmm. A lot of the times, because he doesn't want to rock the boat with Brooke. And I think in this particular case, the reason why she snitched on her daughter was because she doesn't want anything to rock the boat between her and Ridge, because she know Taylor's back in town.
Uh-huh.
And now her heart is healed. And it would just be a blink before when she sees Ridge with Taylor again. And she doesn't want that to happen.
Let me ask y'all. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I think that's why she was eating everything that man was saying to her daughter in that hallway. Because if she said something, then she knew that her relationship is over with Ridge and he's going to go right back to Taylor, which is what she doesn't want. That's her biggest concern over what was said to Hope.
My question to y'all is what Ridge said to Brooke about pretty much trying to put her off the property because he's not going to stay there if Hope is there.
I don't know. That's a tough one. That is her daughter.
Mm-hmm. And that's her house too. And her property.
Yeah.
Well,
what
somebody technically that was the house that Ridge built for him and Caroline.
Yeah, but you said was. Does she own it now?
I don't know.
I assume that she owned it because every time they've broken up, Ridge is the one that leaves.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because he knows the other women will go to his daddy's house. That's usually where he's at. Whenever he has issues with Brooke, he'll go to his daddy's house. And all the new women or like his rerun women will go and visit him there.
That's why I assume that the house must be Brooke's house, because why would he be the one leaving the house every single time they break up? Why is he the one moving out? So I don't know.
You could have seen about that mansion.
What'd you say, Jay? You sounded muffled at the beginning.
I was saying I could have swore Brooke bought it. I thought that was established years ago that she bought that place, right?
This was actually, it's a season 8 thing. That was a wedding gift for when he got with Brooke, but the design of that house originally was for, because remember Kim and the older Caroline, they were sketching out, or not sketching out, but they were creating their house before she passed. So that was technically the house that he was going to share with her. But anyway, we'll say that's Brooke's house. But I think he figured, since she knows that Hope was in the wrong, and she went as far as to tell him what was going on with the coup, that there's got to be some form of loyalty towards him. So therefore, get this girl off of that property. Which, to be very honest, that girl needs to grow up and get out of her mother's lawn. Same way I've been saying the thing about Kyle too. Get up out of that house and grow up and get your own place. All that she's been divorced and married back and forth, still living on her mother's front yard.
Yeah. I
So,
mean, I don't blame Rich. I would want to be there with her either. And if we're together, of course I'm gonna say you need to ask your daughter to find somewhere else to go. It's either me or her.
well, that's exactly what he did. And
So
she
yeah,
was like, "What you do? Expect me to get rid of Hope and Beth off the property?" So he was like, "All right, cool, I'm out."
right.
Now, I want to say this real quick. If let's flip this and reverse it. She gave him that same ultimatum when it came to Thomas. She even went as far as she did it a few times when it came to the adoption paperwork, when it came to the stuff that came on with Douglas, all of these different things, because she was like, look, if you take Thomas's side over mine, you can take your ring or you can take this. She's always gave that man an ultimatum for siding with his children.
Yeah, but she don't
And
want
it
one. Go ahead.
Exactly.
and it's not like Hope is being misunderstood right now. She is clearly supporting the takeover of his company. The only thing I'll say about Brooke, where I will agree with, she has a right to be angry, is the way that he spoke to Hope, the names that he called Hope. I get that. I get, as her mother, she would be pissed about that, and she
Right.
would have words with him for that. That
Right.
makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But just because, yes, he called her names. However, your daughter is still wrong.
Right.
Your daughter is still actively supporting the takeover of his company. So there's got to be some type of, I understand why he's mad, and then for you to stand there and tell him, basically that he just needs to get past this,
Right.
and they need to figure out how to all work together. No, I'm not going to go back and work for them. I don't need to figure out how to get past this. He clearly tricked us into signing something that put him in charge. He was malicious about it, and your daughter is supporting it. She encouraged and she supported it.
Yeah.
So for you to stand there and tell me you're not going to let me villainize your daughter, or I just need to figure out a way to get past it, or like rationalizing why they did it, that no, I'm not going to sit here and listen to that just because she's your daughter.
Downplaying it. Jay, did you have anything? I know you've been kind of quiet.
No, I mean, y'all saying everything pretty perfectly, to be honest with you. Yeah, it's definitely some double standards going on Brooke's part, because she has given Ridge plenty of ultimatums when it came to the kids. And I did want to say, I did like the little line when Ridge, I said this in the chat too, when Ridge went over to Steffi's and he said, for whatever reason, Hope, Brooke doesn't think her daughter can find an apartment or live in an apartment. We made me chuckle because how many years have we talked about her being in that tiny little cabin and not her getting a place for her family when she had a whole husband and 2 kids. So yeah, right. I found that part funny when he said that. And yeah, like you would think, I feel like maybe that's something Brooke should have thought about, because if you expect this relationship to work out during this really tough time, you probably should have went to him and said, I think maybe you should go ahead and find a place, because it's going to be a little bit too, it's going to be too much tension with you guys on the same property. And Hope probably would have, she's on such a high right now because they've got power in the company. She probably would have left. So I don't know why Brooke made that decision.
I would want the whole thing, because just say like Brooke told him just to get past it. I would have let Ridge play it out. Hope come over there. Can we just work this out and let Hope show her natural behind? And how do you explain that? How do you explain that away? It's plain. You're not in the cabin with her where she's telling you one thing, and you're not at home with Ridge where you having a whole separate conversation. I need Hope to actually put that same energy that she's been putting in front of her mama and Carter in front of Ridge, and then ask Brooke, okay, so how do you explain what she's saying right now?
Right.
Because you keep
Yeah.
telling me it's not her fault, you shouldn't blame her, she didn't do this, blah, blah, blah. Stop blaming her for this. Okay, you know what? Let's just see it all in real time and see how she move, see what she's saying, and I need you to explain that then. And she's not going to be able to because Hope is on her ego is through the roof right now.
Yeah, I agree.
She on cloud
Um,
9.
mhm.
And she gonna show
Yeah.
her natural behind because she thinking her man is owning a company and she's the right hand woman and ain't nobody tell her nothing.
Yep. I actually, I really can't wait to see both Carter and Hope fall because Red set the tone. They're going to eventually find a way to get their company back. There's just no way around that. And then Carter would have lost everything for a woman who does not even love him. I feel like now, granted, I understand like Ridge and Steffi, but I think Eric is kind of the innocent party in all of this because
Who did
he
you say,
founded that
Eric?
company. Yeah,
Oh, yeah, I
because
agree.
this was he was completely blindsided. I was actually happy to hear from Eric. He's like, "Look, I should have fired you after you slept with my wife,
Right.
and I'm the founder of this company. You're telling us how you're going to run things." So, and he was like, "Look, so what do I get to do?" He was like, I think Carter was like, "Look, you're still the founder of the company."
What
I
does
said,
that mean?
right, exactly. And it said, like, Rich, you can still design, and Steffi, we can still run the day to day. Like, just completely disillusioned, thinking they're going to just follow suit with whatever he's going with after stealing the company from underneath them.
And especially if Hope gonna be rolling around that office, do you actually think all she gonna have to do is complain to Carter about the day to day that Steffi is doing, and it's gonna always be a problem in that CEO office?
Right, and he's trying to, and I hate the fact that he keeps saying that he wants to try to make this a peaceful and fair, balanced work environment.
It's a hostile takeover.
Right.
Peace is
How is this
hostile.
going to
Go ahead.
how is this going to be fair and balanced if everyone is on opposite sides and nobody's going to want to listen to one another? And then I'm sorry, I was going to say, and then he wants to put money into Hope for the future. I'm like, why?
That whole statement of peaceful in the middle of a hostile takeover, that's an oxymoron.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
I think fair and balanced to him basically just means giving Hope whatever she wants.
Yeah, but then he also still want to turn this company into a luxury brand.
Right.
Yeah, I want to see him try that.
I do too.
Well,
And I will agree that Eric is Eric's the innocent bystander in this situation. But when he said the whole "I should have fired you for sleeping with my wife," that fell just a little flat to me because throughout the history of Force Creations, there's been a lot of people sleeping around with each other's wives in that company and not getting fired. So,
but he's an outsider.
True. But look, that makes it even worse when it's somebody that's inside and somebody that's close and that's family that did it. You know, so it's Eric and Ridge have done that to each other back and forth several times, and then Thorne and you know what I mean. So the women have been swapped around the men of that company.
I agree with that, but I feel like it's apples and oranges when you to compare how Eric and Ridge has swapped women, whereas Carter, he was promoted, he was trusted, and for him to do that to the founder who did not have to give this man any opportunities, because at the end of the day, Carter was still an employee, he was never family. And to still give that man an opportunity, a chance, even after the fact, and promoted him, that was that showed a good character in regards to Eric. And the other part that irks me is when Brooke says like they were treated like peasants, and then Hope says they were always treated unfairly. Eric has never treated them unfairly. That's why I feel he got the the crappy end of the stick of all of this, and he founded the company.
Eric has always sided with anything that Brooke wanted. Anything that Brooke and her family, her sisters, her kid, anything that she wanted for the most part.
Yeah.
Including
they've been treated better than Thomas and Steffy, and then like you guys were saying earlier, Thorne have been treated. So listening to them whine and complain about being undervalued and nobody supports them and they've had to struggle and fight for years at the company that's BS. And that's what makes that's the part of the storyline that is annoying to me. And I think I may have said it last week, is them being the victims that they weren't. They were never these victims that they claim they were.
I got a question. Somebody answer this one for me. Why did Eric adopt Marcus when Marcus has a father as Justin?
Oh,
I've never understood that.
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure that out.
So
that man had an adoptive family, and he had his bio dad there.
Yeah,
it made no sense.
Right.
And was already a grown man.
Yeah.
Yep. He was trying to appease once again his wife at that time. And she just and Marcus disrespected his dad because after he found out, hey, Justin is my dad. Okay, I'm still going to be a Forrester.
Yeah,
and Donna encouraged that.
And I don't know who if it comes out that Justin was a part of this because he pissed off at the Forresters, he could probably add that notch. I'm that man's daddy. You had the nerve to adopt my own son.
Yeah.
Oh man. Oh no, that whole thing was just crazy.
And Keish, that's another strike in the column for the Logans to say that they've been undervalued. This man adopted one of your sister's children when there was no need to do it. Exactly. When there was no need to do it.
He has 2 kids with the Logan and adopted one of the Logan's sons. And majority of the Logans work for Forrester Creations, not even his own children.
Right.
Oh, that's a good point.
They're making Logans Forresters, but yet they're undervalued.
That's straight up gaslighting. That's why Ridge kept asking, what do you mean undervalued? Or what are you talking about? You guys not being treated fairly. Because it doesn't make sense. And as they say, privilege is blind to those who have it. They don't clearly understand the level that they have in that company. They're not working in the mail room. I'm not saying any shade to people that work mail rooms, okay? But Katie runs the PR department. Donna is married to the founder, and Brooke is on the executives team. Where are you being devalued? And the only reason Hope is in the predicament that she's in is because her lines suck.
Yeah. But she has to fight for respect. She said, my whole family has to fight for respect. Donna didn't have to worry about any of that. She was just a secretary. Mm-hmm. And Katie has nothing to worry about because she got $50 million in the bank. So she can walk whenever she chooses. And on top of that, Bill's always going to take care of this woman.
Oh, yeah. She got a connection to the other billionaire on this show.
Exactly. And has a child with that man. And then you got Brooke, who's a multimillionaire. So how are they undervalued?
It's almost as if Brooke and Hope live in some type of alternate reality where they don't see all of the stuff, all of the sacrifices. I won't even call them sacrifices. They were just stupid decisions that Ridge made when he put her above his children time and time again. Like, for a decade, over a decade, for at least 20 years, this man has been putting that woman above his children in all aspects. Not saying that you can't put your spouse first, but there were times where it was clear that he should not have done that. Where it was clear that his kids were right about something and she wasn't, and he would choose her side anyway. And it's like anytime that there was a moment where Ridge would take the side of his kids, for instance, when Steffi got the bigger budget for her Intimates line and Hope didn't, Brooke threw an all-out tantrum in Steffi's face about it. Mm-hmm. Because she said that she was manipulating her father and using her relationship or her position as his daughter to get what she wanted from him. And it's like, were you not doing the same thing when you were trying to get the money for your daughter? It just blew my mind. I can't believe that you're going to go against my daughter. Like, that's the kind of stuff that she would say to him, because she always felt like she was entitled to Ridge's support.
Well, yep. Keish, remember she said about a month ago that Steffi and Hope are equal.
Yeah. That was more delusions. It's just been, these women have just been full of all kinds of delusions for the last at least 12 months. Both of them.
Sandra says, see how Carter threw Stephanie's dissing Brooke in Ridge's face. And she said that was low even.
Yeah. This constant disrespect. But I feel Brooke is getting a taste of her own medicine, because she has always been the main one who's vocal, saying like, I will not allow this. I want you to say that. You're not going to say this. She has always mistreated his children and said whatever she wanted off of her chest about his children, about his family, everything. Now the tables have turned because her daughter decided that she wanted to be selfish. She doesn't care about Brooke and Ridge being together. She doesn't care how this affects the overall dynamics over at the Force of Creations. She doesn't care about how this affects Eric. She only cares about herself and what she feels she was wrong in this whole scenario. She genuinely, well, I won't say genuinely feels, but she really feels that she was wronged as far as getting fired, but she could have corrected that wrong by being honest. There's so many other routes that could have went about this, and Brooke even said that. And they chose to do this coup. That was a choice to go along with that. Yeah. And Ridge is right to be upset and to call and to say the truth. Yeah, she is a worthless slut. She went through all these different men. Oh my God. At least Brooke, she at least made it worth her while for as long as she could.
You trying to break the? Hey, you trying to break the internet, huh, Bree?
Good. Look, I'm just being honest. Ridge was being honest too, but it's just she does not like knowing that her children are wrong, and she can't even find a genuine reason how to defend them.
Mm-hmm. Well, my problem is where, they keep going back. At first, she's being dishonest. She's being very disingenuous in her conversation. Like I said, she's telling Ridge one side, but when she talked to her daughter, it's a totally different framing of the conversation. But they both talk about how this is all Steffi's fault if she hadn't fired her. Mm-hmm. And I gotta give it to Ridge by saying, hey, maybe that wasn't going on in that moment, but your daughter did kiss my daughter's husband, so we can't forget about that. And the fact of the matter is that they said they keep saying that they had no choice. There were plenty of ways to get out of this situation before it got to this point.
Yes.
And the fact that Brooke stood up there in today's episode toward the end and says, I don't blame them. No wonder they did what they did. Ridge should have looked at her like, oh, that's what we doing?
Right.
And told him to be rational and understanding and come together with some unity to get through all it. That girl, I was so glad that he went over to Steffi's house. I'm like, Taylor, go ahead and pick up them scraps.
Well, let's talk about that because Jay didn't like that. Jay was when he said we saw that earlier today. Jay was Jay was talking about Taylor. What was you saying, Jay?
I was just saying how weak and pathetic it was. She come out the kitchen and you left Brooke, and she had like so much hope in her heart. And I'm like, why? You know it's not going to end well for you. Don't even go back there. But obviously she is.
This is the same woman that says, "Oh no, I'm fine. I don't need no man." But Ridge come knocking on that wall up in that door. And when he said, "I left Brooke," her head looked like, "Oh."
She looked like a little kid. That doorway.
She looked like a little kid. Santa?
Right.
Well, that's how she seemed when he said that. You left Brooke?
Oh, and I'm like, oh Lord. Her face lit up like a Christmas tree. You hear me?
I hate it so much. I hate it. I'm hoping that the preview that they showed, they didn't show him kissing. So I'm hoping that she stops him and tells him to get out of her face or something. I want them for once. Even if their intention is to put them together, I would love it if they would have Taylor make him sweat it out for a few months.
You want it to be organic, Keish?
Yeah, I don't, because this is how it always happens with them. The last 3 times that they have gotten back together, it was because he was mad at Brooke.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And I know the first 2 times it was based on a lie that someone said to get him to be mad at Brooke. And this time it's not. But still, the fact that his immediate reaction is to go to Taylor, that just, no. And I wish that they would, I'm hoping that they allow her to acknowledge what he did last time when she straight up asked him, "Are you only with me because of something that Brooke did?" And he told her no.
But her heart is broken, and she needs him to continue to fix it for her.
She said she was over it.
she sure did.
Let this woman finally show some value in herself.
Please. I am begging. I never need to see Ridge and Taylor back together again. Mm-hmm. Not after he's left her at the altar. Well, 2 times.
Well, I mean, Steffy might have something to say about that.
Well, the other part about this is, like you say, it's always because something Brooke has done. I mean, he gave Brooke an ultimatum: kick Hope off the property or I leave. What if she chose to tell Hope, you know what, maybe you need to stay somewhere else? Or then where would Ridge be? Right there with her.
Exactly.
He's only over there because of the fact that the ultimatum he put on the table didn't work.
Right. And that's what makes it so much more gross if they do end up putting those 2 together. Because it ain't even been, it's not even been an hour. And he already in her face.
It was a 40-minute ride on the highway from Brooks to their place. Mm-hmm. You know, like you said, it hasn't even been an hour.
And the minute, let's say they put them back together, I can see something that was it one of you guys that said something about that you think Brooke is going to be the one that ends up getting the company back for Ridge and Eric.
So
yeah, there was me in the chat saying I wonder if she's actually taking the CEO gig to help Ridge get it back.
Right.
I think she said something to that extent as well.
Right.
So let's say they put Taylor and Ridge back together, and then Brooke, this whole time was just plotting to rescue Ridge's company for him, and she does it, and then what happens?
You already know.
Well, that's the question that Jay was asking me earlier in the chat about that scene where Brooke show up at the house. Mm-hmm. And, is it going to be where she show up to tell him, I took the position just to save, to get the company back for you. And he done moved on in a smooching session with Taylor. So now that's going to make him look like the bad guy, and Brooke is going to look like the hero that lost.
You think she's going to help try to get that company back?
I think she'd be willing to do it. We've seen what she's willing to do for Ridge.
But how? If even Justin wasn't able to help to get the company back?
By convincing Carter to maybe sign it over to her, and then she signs it over to Ridge or Eric or whoever.
And Hope would absolutely sign off on that 100,000%.
Well,
maybe she builds enough trust with Carter to, she works for him for a while, and as they're passing, contracts and things along, she slips in something that's giving him the power back, and he doesn't even think twice about it.
Yep,
it could be something like that.
It depends. I feel like either Hope and Brooke, I feel like either their relationship is kind of on shaky grounds. I cannot see her trusting her mother, especially since she ran and told Ridge about the coup, because she even brought that up. Like, I wish she had just came to me instead of going to him. I think she is going to look at her mom's side eye.
I don't know about that, Bree, because if she go over there to them in the emotional state that she's in and tell him everything about that conversation, calling her a worthless slut and all that, they gonna side with each other.
Yeah.
Because she was the... I was thinking. Right. The whole B is already bad enough about the whole thing with you, nasty B, and now the whole other comment that he made today, and he told you, he gave me an ultimatum to kick you off the property or else. So they gonna eat that up at that office.
And we've never seen Brooke and Hope in a position where they just didn't trust each other,
right?
Yeah, or that they're at odds. So I could easily see Hope trusting her mom and helping her talk Carter into turning over the company to her.
Especially if she realized that her mom is going to, and she know her mom, she know how to manipulate her mom. If she get in charge, she going to give me anything I want. Now, what that means for Carter, because she could use him as a human, like she did with Thomas, use him as a human dildo, but, Well.
She's definitely doing that in Eric's office. She was quick to lock. She know where the locks are now.
Girl.
How did you word it in your video, please?
What'd you say?
How did you word it in your video? Did I see the title of the video say they christened?
Oh, they christened the office, right?
Well, her and Thomas already christened that office.
No, have they done it?
Yeah, because he flipped her around and pushed her on that desk. Remember?
Yep.
Oh, I thought that was in the same office on the other side.
No, that was in the CEO office.
In there too. Ooh. I remember it was the episode she found out about Deacon and Sheila, I think, getting engaged or something like that. She was upset.
Or something to that effect. Either, but she was christening the entire Forrester building with Thomas, and I guess now she's doing that with Carter. New man, new person.
Shenanigans.
Yeah, new man, new person.
Why they keep showing that box down in that studio room with the Hope mannequin? Why is that still there?
I thought they got rid of it too.
Dang, that whole thing with Thomas, that was what? With the mannequin about 4 years ago?
Maybe Charlie found a use for it.
But when I see that, and it's just right there, big as life, and I'm like, why are we seeing that? Oh man, did we cover everything?
Look, I think we didn't.
Bill and Luna.
Oh God, I forgot about them.
I almost did too.
I mean,
I guess there wasn't much to happen.
I mean, what are they doing with that? Another thing, we got two villains, because obviously she's trying to manipulate Bill to get out of prison, and then you got Remy too.
Yeah, when Bill sat there and said, "I've never tried to unalive anybody," true, or no, he didn't. He didn't say he never tried to. He said he never has, which is true. But I was also thinking to myself,
He ain't never unalived anybody. Well, I guess
I don't
not.
think he's only tried. He's attempted, and that's what I was thinking about when they were having that conversation. Like Bill is sitting there acting like some, you know,
Holier than
rational.
thou.
Yeah, and it's like you didn't try to take somebody out how many times? Ridge was one. Amber was one.
You just
Who else
failed
did?
at it.
What'd you say?
I said, yeah, he just failed at it. He just
Exactly.
wasn't
Exactly. You just failed at trying to unalive somebody. Don't sit there and act like you better than her.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Because didn't he try to unalive Amber?
Yeah, he tried to throw her off the cliff, didn't he?
And didn't he blow up that building knowing Liam and Sally was in it?
He didn't. He thought they were out.
Yeah,
Okay.
he thought they were out of the building.
And then knocking Ridge out of the helicopter. What else happened? There's a lot of different things that happened, and he got away with a lot of crimes. Not necessarily just unaliving or trying to attempt to unalive somebody. He just got away with a lot of crimes.
Mm-hmm.
But his money is long to do that. Whereas Luna, she made a conscious, very conscious decision, and it was just very Sheila-esque.
Premeditated.
There we go. That's what I was looking for. Premeditated.
I wonder what that would look like if we all had Ian, Jordan, Sheila, Luna,
Remy,
and Rem all working together.
That would be like the damn Sinister Six. Spider-Man Sinister Six. What we got? We up to 5 with that? With that amount? We need one more.
Who's left? Jeremy. Well, Kirsten. Cameron Kirsten is gone.
Oh, he would have been the perfect to make that a Sinister Six. Darn.
Maybe Marcus.
Marcus, who?
I mean, because Tracy, for all she thinks, she's with Alan.
Wait, first of all, who is Marcus?
What's his brother's
name?
Martin.
I'm sorry. I'm like, who
is Marcus?
It was something, y'all. But maybe Martin. I mean, in the meantime, or actually, we can throw probably Sharon in the mix too.
Daisy.
Who?
Like, you've been wanting to see Daisy.
Daisy. You talking about Lucy's mama?
Yes, I was actually thinking Lucy though, but I said Daisy by accident because I know Bree really wants to see Lucy make that turn. So maybe Lucy could be that 6th member.
I guess they'll just have auditions. I mean, they have to meet at their level. You got to meet at a Sheila or at least a Luna level, at least, with all the crimes they commit.
Oh man, yeah, because the other ones, Jeremy Stark is gone, and what is that other guy that was married to Victoria? He's gone. The one that Nick bashed upside the head.
Although we never did get his body, and I always did wonder if they would ever bring him back. But I know you're talking about Ashland Locke. Remember, they never really did get the body.
Yeah, we don't know where he at. They need to let. I will say they need to let Harrison's mama out of prison.
They should.
Why?
Because
I've always wanted to see Tara come back. The perfect time would have been when Phyllis was doing all that crazy nonsense and Summer and him broke up. I felt like that would have been the time to do it, but they haven't done it.
Bree, like, why?
Yeah, I just don't know what her purpose would be, because I mean, Summer's the mom now.
I guess to cause problems for Summer.
Yep.
Well,
because Summer getting on my nerves.
And she never did give up her rights.
Summer's legally that boy's mama, so some rights were given up. Mm-hmm. Something had happened to
that was a whole tacky rewrite that happened in Europe.
Mm-hmm. It was done though.
It was done. But yeah. Anyway, that whole thing. I don't know why are we even getting that storyline with Bill and Luna. What? So she can get out of prison?
That has to be happening.
People have been wanting her back since she's made this turn. They loved her performance. Well,
have her break out on her own. Why we got to throw Bill in the middle of this?
What does he come do?
I don't know. That's something. I just don't
I wish
understand because we all know that she wants to romantically be with Bill.
She does.
I wish that they just would have allowed this to be a redemption for her and her not still obviously scheming.
Right.
Because I would have liked to have seen, like, we haven't seen gotten a scene of Finn visiting her in jail, like trying to figure out what the heck was wrong with her.
Okay, hold on 1 second. Bree, Pauline said it's 33 likes and 184 watching.
There are she came back and said there were 72 likes.
Oh, okay.
Actually, yeah. We got 73 likes and it's been steady at 180 people in this chat. You guys were definitely ready to talk about Bold. Let's get those likes up. It is free. It takes 2 seconds to do. We greatly appreciate it, you guys.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was my 2 cents.
Yeah, I'm not. Are y'all even interested in the Bill Luna? I mean, obviously Lisa Yamada, we were asking for her to come back. I just don't. I'm not feeling the storyline.
I wish they would move on from the Bill aspect of the story.
Right.
I agree.
Have her move on to something else because it's icky to me.
Yeah.
I want RJ to show up.
Where is RJ? Joshua Hoffman been gone for a while.
Right. All this stuff happening within his family, and we got nothing.
They haven't even brought it up to say, well, RJ is here, there, everywhere. They ain't said nothing about RJ.
And we haven't heard anything in regards to Scott Clifton. I don't know, they're on vacation or something. We actually haven't seen Finn in a minute either.
Yeah, I think it's been maybe a couple of weeks for him.
It's been a couple weeks for Finn? When last time we saw Finn? Was it when...
The office scene. Or actually, no, when Rich came to go see him.
Okay, so yeah, that was about a couple weeks ago. Well, that was before Thanksgiving, wasn't it?
Believe so.
Dang.
Guys, I feel like Luna and Bill are going to get married at some point.
Really?
I don't see that.
Yeah.
Really, Jay?
I do. I feel like that's how he's going to get... I think that's going to be part of the way he gets her out, especially like with Katie turning him down. For some reason in my gut, I feel like it's going to be like a surprise show up, a surprise reveal. And she's going to be his wife.
At all.
Do you think...
Well, I kind of agree with that because the fact that he entertained going to see her, it's one thing to entertain the letters. He entertained going to see her. She didn't change the tone of her voice. It almost sounded like a very, like, weird date that they were on. I felt like that kind of energy with them. And if he helps get her out, I can see them going, down at least a romantic path. Let me say that. I don't want to say marriage, but a romantic path. Yes. And I think that's going to drive her that way.
She is absolutely affecting her in that way. I think it's going to be a slow burn, but she's absolutely affecting him in that way.
I don't think so. Because when he was talking to her, he mentioned something about a father that loves you, and I didn't take that as him talking about Tom. He was talking about himself.
I get what you're saying. I think
there's no way this man is going to go from viewing her as a daughter to falling in love with her and wanting to be with her romantically. I don't see that happening at all.
I respect your opinion, though, but I think he is. I think
Eric did. And then also keep in mind that this show that loves taboo relationships. Remember Bridge and Bridget?
Yep.
All I know is that this is as cringe. That would be as cringe as the one with him and Sheila. This would be worse.
It wouldn't even make sense.
It won't even make sense. It's like, why are we doing this?
That would be even more disgusting than when he was with Steffy, back in the first go around of him being with Steffy.
Let us know in the chat, Lil or Boona. What y'all want for the coupling name? Yeah, for Bill and Luna.
Listen, you know what, Jay? Don't start that. Come on.
Yeah. They were talking about let's go to Y&R.
Nobody wants that.
Nobody wants that. Nope.
But I do see where Jay is coming from. I think they're going to have something romantic going on, and I think that's going to pull Katie back in his direction.
Now let me ask y'all this right quick, because I know we've been on this for about an hour and almost almost 2 hours. Okay. What do y'all think? A lonely Brooke usually gets Bill to start sniffing around. Do you think that? Because remember, Bill was trying to sniff around her, right? What was that? Was that in October? Remember?
He was trying to see why she wasn't married yet.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. So now that he's gonna say, "Oh, the dressmaker done broke your heart again," you know, I would never do that to you.
He was trying to convince Katie that, he's all for her and he has no interest in Brooke.
Yeah, well, she's single now, so let's see what Bill do.
You know what would be even more entertaining is Deacon sniffing around her now that she's single.
Yes, because they have a mutual common ground regarding hope, and they both want to defend her. Actually, there's been more scenes that we've seen with Brooke and Deacon lately versus her and Bill.
Well, I don't know if she want to sign that death wish.
Nah, that's exactly why it would be entertaining, because that would drive Sheila nuts.
No,
yep, and she can't
try to get involved with that. And Deacon is very happy with them 9 toes in his mouth. So
he is right now.
Wait a minute, did you just hear what Jay just said?
Yeah,
I heard it.
But that all could change if Brooke starts sniffing around and we can finally get more Sheila scenes in her true form. I don't like the good girl Sheila at all.
I like good girl Sheila.
I like good girl Sheila. Thank you, T.
I like She-Con.
good girl Sheila.
That's why we don't see her on screen as much.
Right, because she's can't interact with anybody.
I mean, come on. Kimberly Brown been doing this for 35 years. She needs to kind of go gracefully toward the end of her little stroll. You know what I'm saying?
Well, the same could be said about Catherine Kelly Lang and John McCook.
Well, we don't see Eric much
on the show right now, to be honest with you.
What you saying?
She what?
Sheekin is the most stable couple on the show right now.
That is true. They're married. They're working together. I mean, don't say Steffy and Finn either.
Why? What is unstable about Steffy and Finn?
Wait a minute! Don't get Key started.
What's unstable about them though?
I mean, because he's 10 toes down for his girl. I will give him that. He was wavering quite a bit in the very beginning. I will say that. But he was his Steffy.
I know. I'm not talking about the fact that they have like cracks in their relationship. It seemed more like Sheila and Deacon, they work together, whereas Finn is like, tell me what to do, I'll do it.
Exactly.
Well, Deacon and Sheila, all they have is each other.
Exactly.
They have no friends.
Exactly.
And that can help ground and stable a couple. You know, when you have each other, when all you have is each other.
I guess
I know Keisha ain't gonna agree with that one.
I don't, because I fail to see where Finn is this. Just tell me what to do and I'll do it.
Henpecked, you mean?
What'd you say?
Henpecked.
His what?
Henpecked. You don't know what that term means?
No.
Oh, okay. Sorry. It's pretty much was like just like a guy that's you know how you have a yes man. Well, you got yes wifey, whatever. I'll do whatever you tell me to do. I'm good. That type of thing.
But they've literally, their issues have been because he did what he wanted to do, which was stick around at that wedding and go to that funeral.
Well, I mean, here's an example, Keish. The whole reason Steffi was able to get kidnapped by Luna is because she was leaving Finn, because she was upset. Like, that wasn't that long ago.
She was going out of town
because she was pissed. But you know why. Like,
you make it sound like she was getting ready to break up with him.
But I mean, that's her excuse for everything. She had to go to a whole other country or like take a vacation just because she was upset. Like, that's not if you get upset with a boyfriend or a girlfriend or a wife or a husband, your answer is to leave town.
She
You know
said
what I mean?
she said she made her little appointment at the wellness center because she needed to take care of herself. Nothing wrong with that, in my opinion.
We went down a whole
row. That's why I
That's what
just.
she said she did. The wellness center called Finn when she didn't show up.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Do y'all not remember that?
Yes,
Yeah,
we
I
remember
remember
that.
But I was saying the fact that she had to go to that extreme in the first place. You know what I mean? That's not the most stable of situations where you have to automatically leave town just because you're upset.
It does annoy me that she does that. Yes, I will say that.
Okay.
But at the very least, it was her going to do some self-care because she was frustrated with the situation. Because this was the second time that Finn had chosen to ignore her warning about somebody that did not have good intentions towards him or her, and he had to find out the hard way. She was frustrated with him.
Yeah,
it's understandable.
But this is one of the things at least I know I was saying on during that storyline is that you stay and work it out. And because they were in the height of that whole situation, and then she takes off and leave. Y'all need to sit down and figure that out.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that.
And she had already left once before, and with the kids.
Right.
So this is the second time in less than a full calendar year.
I don't disagree with you guys on that. I do wish that she wouldn't that her first instinct isn't to just run. Mm-hmm. For sure. But I still don't view them as an unstable couple.
Not unstable, but I didn't say they were unstable. I just said that Sheehan is the most stable right now at the time. Well, they can still be stable, but I don't see them as stable as Sheehan.
Off screen.
Where Sheila
is Sheila boring. Sheila like
we got whole Remy going on, and we got Luna.
Mm-hmm. Bro, you just want to see Sheila being violent. That's why you just.
That's her truest form. That's how we know Sheila.
Right, but don't we need her to be better? And she finally in her soft girl era.
Yes, let somebody else come in. Remy is the villain right now. He can play that villain role beautifully.
Luna definitely can do it.
We've got two villains right now. We got two young villains that can be the villains for the next 10 to 20 years if the show lasts that long. So let Sheila be happy, and she's always got that threat of going back to her old ways if she needs to. But let her be happy.
I guess, yeah. She is boring. Well, let's hope that these kids then graduated from Sheila Carter University. If they have not, and they just boring as well, then I need for Sheila to go back as to being the villain. But that's just my 2 cents. I know y'all are waiting on Y&R. I apologize. That is just.
I will say this before we move on to Y&R. It seems like they're throwing everything in the kitchen sink at the wall to get the attention. We still have not heard anything about a 2025, 2026 or beyond contract. So I'm wondering if all these terms, because when the last time we heard the B word being thrown around and worthless sluts and all this kind of stuff.
Probably since Quinn.
It's been a while. So I'm like, y'all are really trying to do shock value to get eyeballs on the screen.
And Steffy said it, 2 weeks ago?
Oh, yeah. Right.
When she said, hope is a B.
Yeah.
They're sprinkling that kind of language around a little bit more lately, like you said. And I think it's exactly for that, shock value and getting more attention on it.
The 1990s era, so
exactly. I mean, last time the whole thing that Stephanie used to call Brooke, and that's why Brooke was like, you know how I feel about when I hear that term.
And I'm like,
the S from the Valley, right? That needs to be the slogan.
I'm like, girl, you've been called so much worse. Like, she got mad that Hope was called that. She was like, how dare you say that? You know what that does to me? You know what that makes me feel? Well, then don't provide the resume for people to call you that in the first place.
Bree.
I'm sorry. You got the resume that justifies their point, but that's just me.
I
Mm-hmm.
mean, her reaction to that was logical. I get it.
Yeah, especially, I mean, it is a different time period because there's a
Mm-hmm.
term called shame, that type of shaming and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So, back in the 90s, that was thrown around and didn't phase anybody too much. It was television drama. Nowadays, people are very offensive on that. So,
Mm-hmm.
yep.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh,
Whew. Anybody got anything else to say?
I think we investigated all of Bold.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did. Now we gonna quickly run through Y&R because if you want to talk about something being boring, I
Yeah.
just the only highlight I guess I could say is when because here's another spoiler. They said that Sharon was gonna be spying on Phyllis. All she did was walk into a conversation.
Mm.
Yep.
That was it.
Who's writing these spoilers? I
Yeah,
want to know.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Abby and Devon is back. Look like Lily came to her senses by going back to work with her
Girl,
family.
She ain't had no
miracles,
choice.
No,
miracles
didn't.
do happen.
Well, according to her, she said that going to visit her kids make her think about her legacy. I'm like, really?
Yeah. Well, look, something had to happen. If it took that, she came to her senses. Look, good for her because where else was she gonna go? I mean, anything's better than unemployment.
You know what it is? She went over there and saw them kids and saw them tuition bills. And said, I need to get a job.
Oh man, that's funny. I mean, I don't know. What did y'all find anything interesting? I don't like the whole thing where Phyllis is levering the friendship. Y'all know why I stand on that. I'm like, girl, please go sit down somewhere.
Phyllis Phyllis got on my nerves this week with she constantly keeps going to Sharon's coffee house. And had the
Yes.
nerve, was it yesterday's episode, had the nerve to say, every time I turn around, there you are. You're in
And,
her place of business.
and Sharon even had to say is like, if you don't want to see me, you don't have to go here to my coffee house.
Exactly.
Very true. I highly agree with that. There's other places in the world that make coffee.
And then what does she do? She shows up again today in
Exactly.
Sharon's coffee house.
They ain't got no Starbucks in Genoa City? My goodness.
I mean, I think the GCAC is a hotel. They should have plenty of coffee downstairs. Society,
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming Abby got coffee at her restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
Even if they didn't, there's grocery store. Get yourself some iced coffee. I'm pretty sure Daniel has a coffee maker. Anything. You don't have to go to Sharon's coffee shop. You're choosing to do that.
Girl, I
And
make
I
my
feel like she's
coffee every morning. I mean, do that at home. She go over there and bother Sharon every day.
Right. Not only are you choosing to be there, you're mad because Sharon is also there.
TA said Phyllis opens up Sharon's coffee house.
Oh.
She had.
She do, don't she? She do all the time.
Yeah, her and her kids.
Yeah, I mean, and then go over there and cause a whole scene about Sharon and all that stuff. You don't want to see that woman. Stop going to her place of business. Period.
Yeah.
Phyllis just want to be seen and heard. She always got to make a show out of everything.
I mean, a lot of them do. But what I will give Phyllis, like, some rope is I do not like the fact that Michael is helping Sharon because for the simple fact that he does have a close relationship with Phyllis. And I can understand why Phyllis is mad. Like, why are you helping the woman who framed my son at the end of the day? I do get that. But they're going to mend their friendship. I know that's going to happen down the line, but I do understand why she's angry with the whole situation when it came to Michael and Lauren, I guess, apparently.
What do y'all think about this whole upcoming triangle between Billy, Sally, and Phyllis?
Sally
Why is Phyllis interjecting herself with Billy like that? That kind of came out of nowhere.
Because they won't put her with a new man. Because they had the opportunity to put her with Tucker. They didn't want to do that. They had an opportunity to put her with Nick again because that was hot and sexy, but they didn't want to do that. They don't want to ever put her recast her with someone new. So they put her in another love triangle after they got her out of the triangles that she was with Cricket.
Mm-hmm.
So this is
a lot of missed opportunities. A lot of missed opportunities. She even had great chemistry with the guy who played Jeremy Stark.
Yes.
But they had to like that
and
off.
Tucker.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Oh, I miss Tucker so badly. That was a match made in heaven. And if it wasn't that, I need for her to cross over and get with Bill. This is a missed opportunity.
Yeah, I guess I wouldn't mind seeing Audra with Bill. And she shared some crocodile tears today at that table with Nate and Lily and Devon and Abby. And they look.
I loved it.
I thought it was her being really vulnerable.
You thought what?
I thought it was her being vulnerable.
Yeah, I did too.
But she would do this on Friday the 13th.
You know what, Bree?
Look, that the only she had other opportunities to do that, but here she is doing this on Friday the 13th. This is a very rare occasion. Of course, she's going to do it today.
You just want to find something wrong with it because you don't like her.
What flavor you got over there?
No.
What
flavor you got over there? That
haterade.
Hey, y'all go look when
Bree.
Nate's brother comes into town and we see her go back to her slorish ways, her 304 ways. I'm just gonna say, look, I tried to tell y'all.
I think that dude is for Lily.
I think he is too, P.
I think that dude is for Lily. Because I think
for two reasons. Today they really showed the closeness of Nate and Audra and how they're getting closer. And then it wasn't lost on me that you already had Abby and Devon sitting there paired up. You had Nate and Audra coming over, and Lily was like at the bar sitting by herself. So, and I was thinking that anyway, but like today made me think it even more. I think Damien is for Lily.
But
he's fine too.
Yeah, he is. He was on Devious Maids. He delicious. I feel that they're making Audra and Nate closer. So it puts Damien will eventually put a strain on the two of them. I think they're trying to build Audra and Nate up now, only because they're going to crumble and fall once Damien gets in the mix. And on top of that, that's his brother. So she's going to see him more often than Lily's going to see Damien.
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess we'll see. You think because he'll be on air the first week of January, which man, that's like 2.5 weeks from now. But so you think he's there where Audra is going to try to come in between the two brothers?
Yep.
And we're saying maybe he's there for Lily.
I think he's there for Lily.
What do you think?
I mean, either which way, I'm glad that Damien's coming on the scene. Look, y'all are gonna love him. Anyone's seen Devious Maids? He's a great actor. He's very funny, but he's very, very eye-catching on the screen. I figured since he's playing Nate's brother, highlighting Nate finding his brother for a reason, and now they're building up this relationship now between Nate and Audra, where it wasn't there before. Only to build them up in order for them to crumble down once Damien comes in the picture.
What you think, Keish?
Initially, I thought that there would be a little triangle between the two brothers and Audra. But I'm hoping that they are bringing him on for Lily.
Okay.
It's a different energy for Lily. I would be, look, she needs a new man. I will say that.
A different flavor for Lily, too.
Did you say some danger?
I said it's a different flavor for Lily, too.
Okay, yeah. Did y'all also see Claire check her grandfather?
Yes, I loved it.
She tried. But he put that girl on notice, look, you better know where your loyalties lie, with a quickness. And then when Claire told her mom and Nikki, look, that's what like basically Victor put her on notice. Victoria's look on her face, she was like, "Oh Lord, like I already know how this is going to go down." And the thing is, if she doesn't choose her family, like Victoria knows the repercussions of choosing anything else but what Victor wants.
Mm-hmm. Other thing is, Jack should have kept his mouth closed last week.
Yep.
I'm like,
Because
dude, you sitting over there gloating and gonna tell Victor
Oh
what you
yeah.
done did, and then now Victor's finna, and then he said he's gonna try to destroy Jabot from within. I'm like, you know what, Jack, you just don't learn. I
yeah.
don't know who's worse as a CEO, Ridge, or with decision making, Ridge or Jack.
I mean, they struggle with decision making. Um, I just don't like the fact that, like you're saying, that Jack showed his hand, because
Right.
now I guess Michael is employed back with Victor like he wanted, so he's back being Victor's lapdog. I forget who said it on the show. I think, was it Phyllis who said, like, "Oh, you're the whole lapdog now." Um, look, Michael's back in his good graces, and I guess he's going to try to figure out something. But this is why you do not show your hand. Victor very rarely shows his hand.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it was funny last week, the fact that he did one up him by getting those companies back, but you should have kept that to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
There's no benefit of throwing that in his face and think that Victor is just going to be like, "Oh well, I lost." That ain't how
Right.
Victor move, and he should know that after being around Victor for so many decades.
See, Carter and Hope couldn't get away with that with Victor.
Oh no.
I mean, if there's anything to fear, it would be that man. And if the people thought it was bad when Ridge was calling her a bee and a worthless slut, imagine the things that Victor's going to do to Carter and to Hope. But that's just me. And yes, Amaya Baker and Tieta said they saw Claire's new hair, new clothes, the glow up, the wardrobe. Yes, and it was necessary. So they listening to us.
Did you
I'm
like
glad
that
they're-
outfit?
It was
She looked golf to me. Like it was supposed to be business, right? But she looked like she was going to like an Avril Lavigne concert or something.
Oh my
I
God.
liked it, but it looked like a little golf outfit. It was all black. And what did y'all think?
It was a step up from the 14-year-old clothing that she was wearing.
I agree.
I mean, yeah, it was definitely different. I just didn't see the outfit as a business attire.
Yeah, it didn't look business. It looked, like I said, it looked like golf. Like she was going to a rocker concert.
Because when she first came on the scene, she had on this like beige or tan business suit and her hair pinned up. You know, she looked like she was there interviewing with Nikki and Audra and working at Newman Media and stuff like that. I wasn't feeling that outfit. Not me, at least.
I mean, it's
different. Yeah, I agree with you.
She looks more age appropriate than she did before.
Yeah.
And it's a step in the right direction. So I think she realized, wearing Hope for the future is just not a good look for her. So she let her mama and her grandma pick out some clothes and dress her. So it's a step in the right direction. We're almost there with Hope. Not with Hope, but with Claire.
How did y'all feel about how Kyle was talking about her to Jack? He's really deep into this with her. He was saying she means more to him than even she knows. I'm like, someone's gonna have a hard time trying to take Kyle away from this girl.
Hopefully they just drop it.
No, they're not gonna drop it because they just need to go ahead and say that Summer and Chance are done. Because she keeps alluding to that fact. I'm like, just go ahead and just break up with the man and put him with somebody else. I was hoping it would be with Lily because they had that chem test, but I'm perfectly fine with Summer, being Phyllis's daughter in her true form and messing things up. I mean, that's who Summer was. And we've never seen Allison Lanier do that yet.
You know what? If you are right, and Damien is there for for a little triangle with Nate and Audra, I wouldn't be mad at Lily and Jets.
Exactly.
Good point. Good point. Do y'all think like Jordan and Ian act like an old married couple?
I found them hilarious this week. That was one of the few things that I really enjoyed this week. Because you remember, T, when they first said they were the two behind all of this, I was kind of disappointed. I think Keish felt the same way that they went that route. But I did enjoy their banter. They got like great comedic timing, and they were just really hilarious together this week. But those are two soap veterans. Like, those are professionals. So you always know that they were going to be able to work well together, and they really did work well together this week.
They worked together previously. Was it As the World Turns?
Was he on As the World Turns? I know she was, but
I think they both were. They did an interview for a YNR Insider on YouTube, and they had showed pictures from when they were working together. But either way, they're veteran villains, and they have great chemistry. And now that we know how they met on Monday's episode,
right,
it spells out some things. Because we thought, like, okay, were they a couple before?
Yeah, but Jordan must have turned him out.
Yeah. From the looks of it, I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, because he had looked like he went into a different direction. But what we see now, I don't know. Unless he was just faking with her, too.
And they both found Jesus.
Right.
Oh, Lord.
Jesus.
Yeah, that's on Monday's episode.
They found Jesus together. That's
don't find me. Go back and turn around. Don't find me.
Funny. You look at that. Amaya said Kyle is ready to give Claire some babies.
Yes, he is. When he was talking.
So
even Jack was like, "Damn, it's like that."
Yeah. How y'all liking Melissa Orway's haircut?
Cute.
Yeah, I like her haircut.
Oh wow, I thought Bree was gonna hate on it for real. I'm
no. It's cute for her. I don't. But wait, where'd that come from? I don't mind it at all. I think all of them got like little haircuts. Claire got her haircut and redyed, and Nikki got her haircut for her new job position. They had a little something going on. But yeah, I love the haircut for her. I love short haircut on the actress.
Nikki's hair has been really cute.
That looked good on
several
her.
Episodes.
Yeah. That looked good on her. Okay. Y'all got anything else for YNR?
Sharon looks a little cute. Her crazy self in that top picture that T got up right now.
Which one?
I said even Sharon looks a little cute with her hair like that, with her crazy self. That right there.
I just want to point out how incredibly spoiled and entitled Kyle is, because everything is all good with him now that he's got that job. And that when him and Diane were talking, he was like, or Diane asked him like what he really thought about her being CEO, and he was like, well, I should have supported you better. I'm sorry. And it's like, you went through all that drama only to come around and say that you should have been supportive, and that she wasn't that bad of a CEO. Like, everything is all good and perfect now, though, because you have the position that you want. So you're fine with your parents. That character gets on my nerves.
That's a good call out for sure.
Yep. So.
Oh, V Carter, I agree with that. V Carter said, "Cute haircut, but I wish she would not over tan chest versus face and hands." I agree with that part.
Oh, okay.
But, you talking about Abby?
Yeah, but cute haircut though. Very cute.
Yep. I'm trying to think of what else. Else?
Summer was summering. Yeah, Summer was summering, and once again utilized Harrison. I want to make sure this transition is going to be okay. We got to step up, Kyle, and be there for our son. Now that he won't really have Claire the same way.
Let me
And
ask
Kyle
y'all
was like,
this. Bree,
she's not going anywhere.
let me ask y'all this because this was interesting to me, and let me know what y'all thought about this. Is it the nanny's responsibility to tell the kid I'm not going to be there as much anymore, or is it his parents' responsibility to tell him?
It's his parents.
That's what I'm thinking. You think so too, Keisha and Jay?
Yeah. I get why. I get why Claire wanted to tell him, because obviously Claire and Harrison are close. I feel like they're probably closer than just like a regular nanny child relationship. But I also don't think there was anything wrong with Kyle and Summer telling him, because that's probably normally how it would go.
That's
Your parents are going to
exactly.
tell you.
Yeah, that's my thoughts exactly too. In general, I would say it's for the parents. In their specific situation, I could understand an exception being made just because her and that boy are so close. So she probably would have wanted to help break the news to him. So I can see it both ways. But yeah, in general, it should be the parents. But there's probably exceptions where like a nanny it could be so close to the children, he would want to tell them, or at least be a part of the parents telling them.
Yeah.
But the nanny is still an employee.
Right.
Yeah.
She is, but like the kids when you've seen it, like sometimes kids can be so close to their nannies and like love their nanny so much. Sometimes the nanny would want to be there to tell them, like, even though she probably would have wanted to say something like, even though I won't be your nanny anymore, I'm still gonna come and see you, and we're still gonna be close. Things like that.
Yeah, I just didn't understand. I guess Claire's, because her face looked like she wanted to cuss Summer out for saying it. I'm like, you do realize this is your job, and it's the parents' job to tell their kid, not you. In my opinion, I'm like, why are you making this a big deal? Because I mean, in any ordinary case, you would tell, well, we're gonna let our son know or our daughter know that you won't be around as often. I don't see a problem with that. It shouldn't have to come from her first.
Yeah.
And that's what I was a little confused with Kyle, because he was really trying to stand up for Claire and say, like, hey, she deserves to say this to Harrison. But Summer made very valid points.
Yep, I agree with Summer on this one. I mean, Summer has been summering and getting on my nerves, but I agree with that one. Now, what I don't agree, it was Claire's job to tell Kyle that she was just going to go ahead and work over at Chancellor. That wasn't, Summer just threw that out there.
Yeah, she was being petty with that one.
Now that was petty, but the thing with the nanny job thing, no, the parents should be able to say that.
I felt like, honestly, I feel like Summer was being petty with all of it. I felt like she was. I get what y'all saying, but it just didn't feel like it was like that was what her genuine concern was. It felt like to me she just wanted to do it because she wanted to do it before Claire.
But you know what, Jay?
That definitely was.
Well, I mean, she was definitely being petty, but it's still not out of the ordinary for the parent to actually tell him that. And Claire got mad. That's the part I'm talking about. Claire's response, because I'm like, that you're an employee. They're the parents. So yeah, she was being petty. I agree with you and Keish, but it's not out of the ordinary for the parents to tell their kid like, your nanny, she won't be around as much. So, and I just
I'm sorry. I was going to say, and let's say they let Claire, say what she had to say, and Harrison's upset. The parents still have to deal with that boy's emotions.
Right. So. Exactly. They'll be the one, because then they'll be like, okay, we'll talk to him. You go ahead and take care of yourself. Because, I mean, yeah, granted, they cool and friends and all, but at the end of the day, she go home. They're his parents. So
see, that's why Claire wanted to be there, because she can soften the blow if he did have any bad feelings towards it. Like, that's why she wanted to be there, to be able to tell him that, like I was saying earlier, okay, I may not be working as your nanny anymore, but our friendship is still going to continue, and you're still going to see a lot of me, and he's still going to see a lot of her anyway because she's dating his dad.
And that's what I was about to say. His dad can ensure his son of that. That still wouldn't have to have been Claire's place. Because once again, if it was any other employee, because I'm pretty sure there's a lot of nannies who have a close relationship with the kids because they spend so much time with them. It's still that parent's job and their role to explain things to their child and what the transition is going to be going forward in that household.
Yeah, and
that has nothing to do with Claire.
And Claire's not Harrison's first nanny either. That last nanny left too, and they had to tell him she was gone. So it's not like, oh my God, this is the first time he ever had a nanny, and we got to manage just a certain way. No, the reason that Claire got that job is because the previous nanny left.
If I was Kyle in that situation, I would have made sure to tell Harrison, don't worry, you're still going to see a lot of Claire because she's going to be around here a lot. Like, make sure I say that right in front of Summer.
Yep. So.
But Harrison wants his parents back together.
Right.
So I don't think it would, if anything, with Claire being gone, he knows he gets both equal, time with his mom and his dad. Now he can try to pull a Douglas.
Wait, did Harrison say that?
No, he wanted his parents. I forget what scene it was. Harrison was sitting at the stairs and he saw his parents like getting along, laughing, and he was saying that it was so great to have his parents there together. Let's read a story together, and this is something that he wanted. He wants his parents back together.
When did that happen?
That was like one scene, and it was more like an insinuation that they might be going that route, like how they did with what's Adam and Chelsea's son? How he was like almost trying to put together. Yeah, it was kind of like that. But if when Harrison realizes, or if it's told to him that Claire and Kyle, like if they sit him down and say, hey, try to gently tell him that they're seeing each other, do you think he'll still feel the same way about wanting his parents together? Or because he really does, he's really crazy about Claire. So I think he'll be just fine if Kyle and Claire sat him down and told him that their relationship is more than friends or something like that. I think he'd be just perfectly fine with it.
How long ago was this scene where it seemed like he wanted his parents together?
About a week ago? Last week, right?
No, this was about, almost was like a couple of weeks ago. This is when that stuff was going on where Daniel was arrested, and she was telling him about the fact that Chance arrested her brother.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't think. He definitely ain't gonna care once he finds out his dad and Claire are dating.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. So, anything else, y'all?
Well, that was pretty much it.
That was pretty much it. Yeah, we got through that in a half an hour. That's bad.
Right.
Riveting stuff this week.
I mean, Bowl took two. Bowl took 2, and YNR took 30 minutes. That's bad. And I don't know. They gave us so much in November and looked like it just fell off of a cliff.
There was some Billy and Sally stuff, but I don't think that was anything too crazy worth noting. Or
I keep forgetting it together.
I'm not even feeling them as a couple.
It's just at this point for me. Right. It's just like it's there.
Just like I'm not feeling Hope and Carter as a couple either, and it's not even because of the coup. I don't know. It just wasn't.
She just doesn't love him. She has no genuine feelings for this man.
Nope. Whereas we felt the heat with her and Thomas.
Yep.
Even though she didn't lock him down that he can marry her or whatever, but the heat between the two of them. Oh yeah. I don't get that with Carter and Hope. It just seems so, I don't know, forced.
It dropped out of the sky.
Yeah, it seemed forced. So, I don't know. I know that there are some Cope and Harder fans out there, and originally back in September, I'm like, let me check it out. But nah, I'm not interested.
I think maybe I could have gotten there if they worked up to it, but just, I don't know. Them just, out of nowhere, Carter suddenly has been thinking about hoping this way for a year or over a year. It's just like, we know that's not true. Come on, y'all.
While with her auntie.
It was just so unnecessary. Yeah.
Right, and then you tell this man you love him in a nanosecond. You know.
Yeah, less than a month.
Right, when it took you 7 months to say it to Thomas when he got ready to leave.
Right.
Yeah. And we saw the chemistry there, and you waited. Whereas there's not really a lot of chemistry with these two. Mm-hmm. But you tell them you love them. It's just not authentic to me.
Yeah, and it's this girl was still crying about Thomas, even like a month or so after he left. She was still blaming him leaving on Steffy, and then she was occupying her time with Finn. And then when Thomas came back, she was zeroing in on that man and saying like, "Oh, you shouldn't be with Paris. You should be with me." Like, this woman has been, I feel like, a better part of this year been trying to get over Thomas.
Well, you see what Ridge said in today's episode. So something wrong with that girl.
Yep. I agree. I highly agree.
You know, because she keep flip-flopping back. I mean, when she was all Finn, had, as you call it, her chesticles hanging out. And then Thomas came back, she flipped on him, and then she flipped back to Finn, and then she flipped to Carter.
You said she flip-flopped, T?
Yes.
Yeah, her and Rich should be best friends then.
Yeah, waffling back and forth.
Yep. Mm-hmm. That's why her and Liam got along so well.
That's a good point. So,
I mean, kindred spirits. Those are kindred spirits for real. I don't know why she was saying that regarding her and Finn, but I mean,
girl, she was delusional about Finn that whole run.
Yeah, and that's why.
Yeah, what happened to her migraines?
Girl, thank you.
Those were suddenly cured.
Mm-hmm.
Keys, they need to cast you on board as Steffi's best friend.
Who? Wait a minute, me?
I would love to see that.
Cast who?
Keish.
Oh, Keish.
As Steffi's best friend. I would love to see that.
Yeah, you know, listen, Keish is Steffi's protector. That's her bodyguard.
They've been doing my girl dirty for years. She's finally happy.
Listen, you see how quick Keish reared up when we said that her and Finn's relationship was unstable. What do you mean by that?
Girl, I felt like I got shoulder check when she was coming to that.
My bad, y'all.
That's why I said, let me back out of it. I'll let Jay handle that.
I'm sorry.
No. Listen, she is a Steffi fan. Oh, man. All right. Y'all got anything else with Y&R? So we can move on to the segments.
Yeah, we're good.
Y&R.
Okay. All right. So we got to do our flip the script. What y'all got for Y&R? Yeah,
you know what? When Lily said that she wants to come back to Winters, I wanted Devon to be like, no, you good.
Okay, who's next? Jay, Keish?
I would have just had like Phyllis not showing up to the coffee house so much. Like, you keep saying, you know, you don't want to be around Sharon, but you're showing up there every day. I would have just had her go get her coffee somewhere else. That would have been my flip.
Mm-hmm.
I would have had Sharon show up to the coffee house with a restraining order on Phyllis.
Ooh.
Yeah, don't come back
because she just keeps coming back. Like, go away.
Mm-hmm. I mean, if I had to pick anything, I would have had Claire clap back at Summer for telling her about the chancellor job. It's like, excuse me, I asked you to tell him. That was my thing. I mean, she was out of place for that. So I mean, that's the only thing I can come up with a flip. But yeah, Claire should have checked her on that one. All right, what y'all got for bold?
Ooh, bold.
And Bold has been flipping all over the place. I don't even know if we need to flip anything.
I
My
mean,
flip would have
Oh,
been
I'll
instead of that
go.
shoulder check, Steffi actually
Lay
connected a
hands.
slap or a slap or punch something. Sorry, I'm not normally violent, but
Yeah, we
or
leave
at
that to
least,
Bree.
or have her hit the floor. Like it knocked her down and
She
hit the
said hit
floor.
the floor.
You should have scared her instead of just shoulder charging her.
yeah,
So
look,
she could have shoulder charged her, but her actually hit the floor. She fall to the ground. That's what I was hoping for. Um, my flip when Brooke was complaining about the fact that Rich called Hope a worthless slut, I would have been like, well, I mean, he could have been like, hey, it's genetic.
Oh,
Mm.
oh, dang.
Ooh.
Jesus.
Good God.
Bree wanted to see the end of the relationship right there and then with those words.
Yeah, you
My
talk.
flip, my flip would have been when Ridge said, "You know what you are? You're a nasty little." When he called her the nasty little bee, and then Carter got in his face, I would have had Carter punched him.
You would have had Carter punch Ridge?
Yeah, because
Oh,
when he
wow.
got up in his face and said, "Don't you dare," I thought that's what it was about to get into. So I would have just had him go ahead and had them have a little fight right there in the hallway.
He was quiet too in the hallway. I was expecting him to say something. I think a lot of the audience was expecting Carter to say something, but nothing happened.
I mean, he got in his face fairly quickly though.
He
Like
said,
he said,
don't you dare say that about Hope or
dare
something.
talk to
Right.
her like that."
Right.
That was it.
Like he definitely let his presence be felt because he got up in that man's face.
Rich should have said or what?
Oh,
Yeah,
And
right.
that's when you have Carter punching. That's the perfect right there piece. That was the perfect exchange. You would have had a Rich say, "Or what?" And then just have Carter deck him right there.
Yeah, that would have been fun. Could you imagine if it was a whole brawl up in there? Steffi and Hope got to fighting. Carter and Ridge got to fighting. And then Eric is sitting off in the corner like, well, wait, hold on, y'all. Stop. Hold. No, wait.
He gonna blow the whistle, and then Steffi's gonna get down and then be like, hut, hut.
And then,
right in tackle.
And charge her one more time.
and
And then Charlie's gonna come and try to break up everything.
girl, listen, you know how
Barely.
y'all remember in The Color Purple when that fight broke out in the Sugar Shack?
Yeah.
And Celie was sitting around just watching and laughing. That would have been Hope.
Yeah.
Oh man. Who else needs to do a flip? Did y'all three of y'all did y'all's?
Yeah, we did ours.
I don't know. I would have had. I wouldn't have had Taylor rise up like lit up like a Christmas tree when Ridge come over at that door. I didn't like that.
Me neither.
That's a good one. Yeah.
Oh, you here? Oh, what happened? Oh, for real? What you gonna do about that? Something. Instead of
I had her say shocker.
Yeah, a shocker, or instead of her saying, "Oh, did you break up with Brooke, or did you leave Brooke?" I'm like, girl, come on.
I would have had her be like, "Oh, you broke up with Brooke again? All right, I'm going to sleep. Y'all have a good night," and just have her walk out and go to the bedroom.
Right.
Yeah, not her falling all over there. They got a whole group hug.
Oh my God.
It's right there on the screen.
It sure is.
Backup generator family. As somebody said, they said in the comments earlier tonight, Taylor is the backup generator. And that was a perfect description.
Yeah.
She's definitely the backup generator.
Yeah, like I said, she will. I don't know that whole. Like I say, if Brooke, I should say, had said, okay, you know what, I'll tell Hope to stay somewhere else, he would have stayed right there.
Mm-hmm.
He wouldn't have came over there. So, I mean, if you want him like that, Taylor, then you're going to have to deal with the fallout that once everything calms down and the dust settle, he's probably going to go back to Brooke.
Right.
Yep.
She's going to be falling on the floor again like she did at Forster.
Exactly. And she have a whole nother broken heart syndrome all over again. Okay, who's taking seats on Y&R?
Phyllis.
Oh God, yes.
Yeah, Phyllis can take a seat.
It's like, girl, you can take a seat. Victor, sit down. Like you forever, forever has a vendetta against something. You can't just be. You can't just be happy just being a billionaire and just like just letting things just go at this age, at this stage of your life. You still trying to defend your wife's honor for
Mm-hmm.
what?
Yeah.
It
I
is like one thing after another with him.
I'm gonna give Jack a seat for opening his mouth.
Yeah.
Cause Victor would have just let he wouldn't even know no better. Now you got a whole monster coming after you to tear your company up from the inside out. Cause you run your mouth. You showed your hand. So yeah,
But
Jack, take a seat.
yeah, but karma's working its way. We see Ian and Jordan right there at the bottom.
Oh yeah, that is true.
I loved how Ian and Jordan both basically called Nick an idiot.
Oh,
Yep. They were like, oh, I wasn't expecting him to be this smart.
right.
Like Nick Newman.
Exactly. That was now that was funny. I forgot about that. They,
Yeah.
they wouldn't expect they expect Adam to figure out stuff before Nick would.
It just reminds me of when back when Jordan was trying to unalive the family and she called him Victor's idiot son.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Yeah, the guy that can never keep a job. And what you call it, Bree? He's always at the temp office or something.
He is a Kelly Services temp employee, both he and Billy. He don't stay in a job longer than 6 months. He's always moving off to something else.
He ain't working right now. Chasing what? Is he doing any work right now? Or is he just chasing
No,
behind Sharon?
no, he ain't doing
He
nothing.
ain't doing nothing. All right, who taking a seat on Bold?
Oh my
Justin.
goodness.
Brooke.
Brooke and Hope.
Goodness.
I mean, Bree, you
For the whole
stumped?
Logan being undervalued.
I'm stumped because I'll go ahead and throw Taylor in the mix. Like, girl, you a little too happy.
Right, you're a little too happy.
Yeah. I think Hope and Carter's pretty obvious, but just girl, Taylor, sit down.
Mm-hmm.
Hope Carter and Brooke are all under the same delusional umbrella.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll agree with you on Taylor too. Like
I
Taylor,
don't know. I gotta give Will a C too. He was just a little bit too happy about that takeover.
I expect
I
Will
didn't
to
get happy vibes. It was just more like nonchalant. Like, okay.
yeah, like oh,
What really
congrats.
affected me? I'm just an intern. I'm just here with my girl, so it doesn't really matter who's running it for me. I just want to be here with a lecture.
I feel like he just doesn't really know like either he doesn't really know or he doesn't care. Hope is his cousin, so I think he's just going to be happy for whatever it is that she's getting because she's getting her line back. Electra to me was more the side eye because that's your family and they're literally telling you that they took control of your family's company and you're just worried about the jewelry line still being on.
And Remy.
Oh yeah, and Remy.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he showed up at that girl job with that pizza.
I loved how Will talked to him though.
I gotta say, Crew Morrow he's getting comfortable in his role.
Yeah, he really seemed like Bill's son the way he was talking to Remy when he was getting him up out of there.
Shoot,
no, he seemed like Nick Newman's son.
No, he seemed like he got more backbone than Nick.
Yeah, that's why I say he was really acting like Bill's son.
Right.
That's how Bill would get somebody up out of there.
Yeah, he was real snarky with that boy. I mean, he wasn't playing, and I mean, he was like, maybe you see your way out of here,
Yeah.
Whereas, Nick is so nice. The idiot son is so nice.
And then the line where he said, "I expect the delivery driver to be gone before the piece is cold."
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so Crew is getting real comfortable. He getting better. I like that. First, I thought maybe he was trying to, figure out things, but yeah, I could tell he's definitely fitting in.
He's definitely catching on quicker than RJ did.
Oh.
Man. Oh boy.
Alrighty then.
Poor RJ.
Yeah, I know. Okay, and then what do we have? Our star of the week for Y&R. That's gonna be tough. What stood out? Michelle?
No, I'm gonna give it to Zalika Silver.
Oh,
because I love the actress. I can't stand the character, but I love the actress. And this was a different range. Have you ever seen Audra in? Even though it was Friday the 13th, but I definitely love the actress this week. This is a new page turn for the character. She did a great job.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it to Zalika too.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. That was definitely a different side that we've never really gotten to see of Audra. Not even with Tucker. Like we saw a different vulnerability with Tucker, but with this scene today, it was we've never really seen her be emotional like that.
And she was able to cry on cue too, unlike Finn.
Oh, that struggle bus. He was struggling this year. We got a lot of hope for him in 2025, but he got better. We got like at least 2 or 3 years.
Why is Tanner catching strays right now?
That boy better start carrying an onion in his pocket.
Listen,
for 25.
Wait, hold on. Did you hear Key? She said she's on the defense, y'all. Why is Finn catching strays?
Look, that man was struggling to cry. He was. I mean, like a glistening tear on his cheek, anything. He's around legends. He's around Catherine Kelly Lang and Heather Tom, who can cry on cue. Even if they take a break for like 2 seconds, back to crying on cue. He can catch a couple of them tears. That's all I'm saying. But he got better. We got at least a total of 3 tears throughout this whole year.
Is that okay?
I'm just asking, why is he catching strays out of nowhere? And wasn't nobody even talking about Finn. We talking about Y&R.
Oh my God.
And y'all just start dogging on poor Tanner.
He'll be okay. You're right. he catches worse from Ridge.
Dang.
He still got those good mutual commercials. He good.
No.
He got more in commercials. Tanner is in movies, honey.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I actually watched him in a holiday movie. Actually, a Lifetime holiday movie not too long ago, a couple of weeks ago. So he good.
He shed a tear.
Got commercials. No, he didn't have to cry in the movie.
Y'all crazy.
Gladly, he didn't have to, because that would have been a struggle. But yeah, he's got the commercials, got Hallmark and Lifetime movies. He's doing all right.
Okay, good for him. Great for him.
No range can still get you some work.
Oh my God. Oh my God, y'all crazy.
Okay. What was the subject we were on? What's the category?
I think we were moving to pickle of the week. Wait a minute. Yeah, we got it all in.
The star.
We didn't do star.
Oh, we do star for bold.
Thorsten for me.
And Thorsten for me too.
He showed out this week. He had a couple of moments. Obviously the 2 swear word moments were standout, but just his performance all week. And if I'm not mistaken, didn't Thorsten win like best actor like 2 years straight
in 2023?
Yeah, so he was showing why. He showed why with this week, why he won those awards consecutively, because he was acting this week.
Yeah, he put a couple of octaves in his voice. His eyes got darker and everything else. I'm like, Thorsten.
He was letting them know it's not Y&R who's going to catch all these Emmy nominations. He said he going to throw his hat in too.
Yeah, I mean, when he looked at that script and he had to say nasty little bee and a hopeless, he probably looked at okay, I got to make this sound right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you know when he saw those scripts, that was probably salacious for him. He's like, "Ooh, finally they're giving me something to do." So you know he probably was happy.
Oh my goodness, the star for me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna give it to. I had two, but I'll give it to an actual person. The star is for me Annika. Like, this is a very talented actress.
Talking about her villain era.
Yeah, this the way that she can go from portraying this good girl. Now she is just I don't know how to really describe it, but like very talented. If I can be pissed off at you, pissed off at the character, and still respect you as an actress. Great job for Annika and Jacqueline McInnes's shoulder. Some strong shoulders. If she ever decides to get into sports, she can play for the playoffs right now.
Jacqueline
she's a workout
that girl lifts.
She's a workout fiend.
I can see. Okay, I'm like, girl, we need you for the playoffs. I don't know what team, but go ahead. Like, you can just jump right on in and handle your business. But it was just those.
Yeah, I see. She was lifting weights, and I'm like, you go, girl.
Mm-hmm.
All right, pickle of the week. Young and the
Wait, did Kish give her star of the week?
Kish.
I agree with Jay. Torsten was he was on fire all week.
Okay. Yep. TK definitely got it this week. Now the pickle of the week for YNR. Summer.
I'm gonna give that to Phyllis too.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, Phyllis is annoying. What you got, Bree?
I'm gonna go ahead and just give it to Victor. He's earned it. Like, just sit down, sir.
Yeah, get on. Just go. You gave him a seat with a pickle.
Yeah.
Okay. You know what? I take mine back. I'm giving mine to Kyle.
Oh.
I just don't like the whole how he's just suddenly flipped and everything is all good because he got what he wanted. He literally had to pay for nothing that he did. Nope. And then he brought back up the whole thing about Diane abandoning him. And it's like the time for him to do all that was when Diane first came back. It's right. There's no feeling about it now because he was so team Diane when she first came back into town. Immediately, accepted her back into his life. Didn't heed anybody's warning, which fine. But then, 2 years later, 2.5 years later, because she has a job you want, then you want to throw the whole "you abandoned me" in her face. So it just doesn't feel genuine.
Right.
Yep.
I agree.
Yeah.
And he brought it back up again this week, and it's like, I don't believe that he was really hurt by that. I think he just used that as an excuse to hurt her.
Right.
Because he was mad about that job.
Real spoiled brat tendencies with that.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. All the pickles are in for YNR?
Yeah.
Bold.
Brooke. I'm like, what you crying for? all this fake tears. Just to try to manipulate Ridge, and he wasn't falling for it, honey. That is dusted up.
I'm gonna give it to Hope because she was really trying to push that whole Logans have been undervalued and underappreciated, and it was like, what?
Yeah, mine is for Hope for having the gall to say they've never had anything handed to them, and Steffy is only where she is because of her last name.
I guess I'll give it to Remy for the deepfakes. It's like, that's kind of cringe.
Bad ones at that.
A bad.
They weren't even good ones.
All right, and then who get the simple awards for YNR?
I thought it was just. Is it not just one for both?
Oh yeah. Well, either way, across the board then.
Oh,
Mine is-
Carter.
Yeah, Carter. Ain't nobody beating Carter in that area right now.
Yeah, Carter's taking the crown for that for a while.
And consecutively for the past, how many weeks now?
Shoot,
He just
almost a
running with the
month.
torch.
That boy on the street.
Almost a month. Oh man, yeah, he gonna keep that one for a while unless I mean on his tail is Nicholas.
Yep.
He right there.
Yeah.
And Nate in third. I would say Nate is running bronze right now.
Yeah,
I don't even think Nate is doing any.
Huh? What you say,
I don't-
Keish?
I don't feel like Nate
There
is
was a
doing
moment-
any of that kind of activity.
Well, there was a moment today when they were sitting on the couch and the phone was ringing. And she was like, "Are you going to answer that?" And he was like, "Does it look like I want to answer that?" And then she told him, "If it was me, I would answer it." I was like, "Well, damn." Like, so it was, you know what I mean? Like, she obviously was showing like it ain't like that for me, like it is for you, quite. So I don't know. You still see some simpage with Nate.
Mm-hmm.
Not as much as Nick and Carter right now, but that's why I got him running bronze.
Yeah, but well, it's Carter and Nick is running closely behind.
Mm-hmm.
Cause I mean he going hard in the paint in for Sharon.
And not worried about work or anything.
No. Mm-mm.
I mean, don't he got 500 million? He ain't got to worry about work.
That's a great point too. But I mean, he made it a big deal to be over at Newman because his daddy asked him to. Now he's over there. He was working with Adam, and all this stuff's happened with Sharon. He completely forgot about his job.
Right. So.
Per usual.
All right, y'all got anything else?
Nope.
We just
It was a great week.
Yeah, for Bold is knocking it out the park next week. Look like the Foresters are in shock mode when they find out that Brooke is the CEO. And yeah,
I wonder if this is going to be before she sees Rich and Taylor together or after.
It depends. I know a lot of times, and I think that's what I was telling Jay earlier. Is those promos are usually mixed sequence.
Yeah, out of sequence. Yeah.
Yeah. So if in fact she goes over there before and it didn't work, then But if she goes over there after they sleep together, I guess we'll just have to see how it play out. Are the spoilers out for Bold? I know Y&R spoilers are.
I don't know.
I haven't seen them. Yeah, before the show, I haven't seen them. So what are they doing? They hiding them because Bold is good at trying to do that to build up anticipation.
Right, because I need to know what Zende's going to do. I want to get other people's reaction. Who's going to stay on board? Like, there's just so much that happens, and I actually want to know if Rich is staying over at Steffy's or he went over to his daddy's house per usual.
That's a good question. I don't know.
The last time he stayed at Steffy's, he was getting some from Taylor, right?
I think so. Yeah, the spoilers are not out yet.
I don't think they started.
The last time when Kristen was playing her and he was staying over there, wasn't they? And eventually they was getting it on at Steffi's house.
They didn't get it on. They got it on in Aspen.
Yeah, in Aspen.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But I'm trying to figure out what
they had a scene at the Cliff House too.
No.
They was at least in bed together. Maybe they didn't do anything, but they was at least in bed together at the Cliff House.
I don't think they started being intimate with each other until Aspen.
After. Yeah, I think that's what happened. I'm just curious to know which door was Brooke knocking on. Was it Eric's or was it Steffi's?
That looked like Eric's house.
So he back at his daddy's house.
Oh boy. Well.
I mean, he can go to Eric's GCAC anytime, any place. And that's where he has all of his other women go to his daddy's house when he's not with Brooke.
Yeah, I agree, Gail. Y&R has been boring. So, I mean,
she said Claire looked like Wednesday.
Dang, I'm telling you, I did not. Me personally, I ain't like that. I mean, yeah, it might be a step up from the teenage wear, but I ain't like that outfit. I'm like, really? That's what that's what y'all picked? Out of all them clothes that Lauren sent over there, y'all picked that one.
See, isn't it wild how things fluctuate though? Because wasn't it about a week or 2 weeks ago where we were saying that like Y&R was the hotter of the two shows and Bold was kind of like
Yep,
lukewarm. Now that's flipped on its head.
yep, sure did. I was
Yeah.
saying that earlier that this feels like a sweeps month for Bold.
December sweeps.
Yep. All right, you guys. Well, we're gonna end it right there. We've been on for about 3 hours and 4 minutes.
Ooh.
But we had a lot to talk about with Bowl, so that took up most of the show. So make how many people in the chat? Did we kind of go back down or
Just a little bit. We're still
we
at 100. It's been 150 consistently. I think the highest it's gone to was a 195. So we were almost tapped out at 200 tonight.
nice, nice, nice,
Hey,
nice. Well, if you guys that are new here, make sure that and you enjoy us. We do this every Friday night. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channels. There are recaps that are done daily. I can't say that for Boldest. I mean, Young and the Restless this week because it was just too slow for me. And standalone videos, spoiler videos as well. So we do a lot of content over here. Also on the other platforms, IG, TikTok, Facebook group, Threads, X, and there's a blog on Medium. So the Young and the Restless spoilers are already up on the blog. All right, you guys. So unless y'all got anything else, we will cut it right here. Y'all good?
Uh, we good.
And we had a
Just
good
Myra said it
show.
was
I
a
really
blast.
enjoyed it. We had a really good show today.
Yeah, just Myra said it was a blast. Thank you guys.
Yeah, thank the
We had fun with
soapies.
you.
Yeah, thank the soapies in the chat. We're still trying to work on doing another trivia night. I kind of tossed that idea around. So stay tuned for some fun stuff maybe coming up in 2025 or as we get to the end of this year. This year has flown by.
Yes. Oh my goodness.
Yep. So, all right. I will talk to you guys later. Have a good night, and we will see you all soon. Bye,
Good
guys.
night.
all right, good night, Soapies. Good night, y'all.
Nighty night. Have a